All right, so I think we're live. Sorry about being a little late to start this because thought that this might take a few hours and I didn't want to end up like waiting for like having to go out in the middle for snacks or something, and then I started making lunch and then it started taking longer than I expected. That's basically what's happening. All right, and so we are playing Monika Beyond Story. It's been some time since I did a live stream. Let me know if there are any audio issues. I am using a new mic, new filter. So just let me know if I'm too loud, if the game is too loud. I don't think there's any. Okay. And so I decided to play this because I saw the artwork on r/DDLC mods and it just looked incredible. And therefore I decided to go ahead with this. Someone said I sound good but a little quiet. Let me see if I can change that slightly. All right, I don't know if this is better. I should be louder, definitely, regardless of whether it's better or not. So let's start. I don't actually know what this game is like because I haven't played it before, and it released basically today, so I didn't even put in a download link. But let's see how it. So they've changed the user interface quite a lot here. Like there's like a new little design for the text boxes and all. And this is just your standard little thing. Wait, let me just see if how loud the volume is. Okay, I think it should be good. I think you guys should be able to hear me and you guys should be able to hear the game without it being much of an issue. Everything sounds good. Someone says in chat, okay, that's good. All right, like I said, this artwork looks very nice. Oh, you can see this is Sans. I don't know who this is. I've seen him in various memes, this pyramid. I don't know the name of the character. Night Shader KAX in chat says it looks like a whole fan game, not just mud. Yeah, it does feel like that. Like it's like entirely a something new. This is some kind of superhero. I don't know who this is. I also don't know this character. I do know who Monika is, of course. These characters I don't know at all. Setting. I think this is. There are stuff in extras that you can unlock, but you have to complete the prologue first, and only the prologue is out, not the full game yet. So let's go to chapter select. Again, the artwork is very good. That's why I wanted to do this game as a stream, because I just saw like some of the graphics for it, and I'm like, this looks amazing. Let's go ahead and play it. Stalwart silence.
There you are.
There you are. Oh wait, this isn't me. Someone else. I should use some other voice. Let's see.
You must be
Izumi-chan 4775. Fun fact: this started as a comic. Yeah, I've seen the comics. I haven't really read them, so I don't have like any prior idea of what's going on. Let's see. You must be Drechenaux, right? She was right about your kind. Mysterious, elusive. A presence we can never truly see, yet always watching us. Sorry. Where are my manners? Ahem. Well then. Let's get down to it. You're here because you want story. Am I right? Yes, we do want a story. It's apparently beyond the story. Let me guess. What is it you're hoping to see this time? A slice of life school drama? A tale of friendship and fragile bonds? A bittersweet romance? Or maybe An epic fantasy sci-fi adventure, or something philosophical, perhaps? A mirror held up to life itself? My friend, I won't lie to you. The story you're about to witness has all of that. Every single one. But let me be honest with you. This is not your story. Your role is that of the observer. Don't be disappointed. You'll still walk beside our protagonist through every joy, every sorrow, every fall, and every rise. I think I've said enough. No point wasting your time with my ramblings. So then, friend, allow me to tell you the story of a Monika. Yes, you heard that right. This story is about her, but not the Monika, or Monikas you've seen before. No, I can promise you that. This is the story of a Monika that went a bit beyond her story. Monika Beyond Story. Okay, wait, let me pause here for a moment. I've actually muted the game sound. Is there a voice actor? Because if there's voice acting, I don't need to put in my own. I actually didn't realize. Oh, so there was a voice actor, and I am clashing with. I'm so sorry. You guys are probably hearing both of us at once. Let me tinker with things the beginning had one. Okay. Let me tinker with things a bit once, because this usually doesn't happen. I'm sorry, just give me a moment while I fix this. I need to find a way to fix this. Sorry. Okay, there. So, okay. So I made a mistake in case you guys are wondering what's going on. Basically, what happens is usually when I do these streams, I don't expect there to be like voice acting. I sometimes mute the audio on my end so I can't hear it and it doesn't interfere with the microphone. That was clearly a mistake here because there was voice acting and I clashed with it. Let me put a... Do you want me to redo the beginning? The only reason I ask is because it might sound odd when I put this up for viewing, and I might just like cut out the beginning bit. Or do you guys want me to just like continue from here on out? I can hear stuff like this. Okay, someone said yes. So we basically have 4 votes and it's split down the middle. I'm just going to end the poll. Yeah, I think I'll just redo it so that it can sound... Okay, yes. In case you guys are wondering, I can hear the music. Once again, I tend to mute it so it won't interfere with everything else. But once again, if I think that I think it's going to be very odd if you're just someone who's watching it not live but later on and see that it's something very odd with me speaking and them also speaking. Most mods don't have voice acting, so this kind of doesn't matter, but let's redo it. So, hello, if you're watching this, that's a little loud, the music. Okay. I've cut the music's volume down, if that's fine. I think this music volume is pretty soft enough, so it should work. Okay, so hello and welcome to this live stream. If you're watching this, then you're probably watching the edited final version I put on YouTube, but there were some issues with us starting. Apparently this game has voice acting and I did not realize that. I muted the music on my end and then I ended up talking twice, so it looks very odd. If you want to see the live stream, there'll be a link to it, but let's go ahead with watching this.
There you are.
So you guys were right, there is voice acting. Yeah, it must have sounded very odd for me to be speaking, them to be...
Let's see. You must be... right? She was right about your kind. Mysterious, elusive. A presence we can never truly see, yet always watching us. Sorry. Where are my manners? Well then, let's get down to it. You're here because you want a story, am I right? Let me guess what you're hoping to see this time. A slice of life school drama? A tale of friendship and fragile bonds? A bittersweet romance? Or maybe an epic fantasy sci-fi adventure?
Most mods don't have voice acting simply because it makes the file size too large, and it's also very hard to do.
Or something philosophical, perhaps? A mirror held up to life itself?
But that's kind of how you know that this is high quality, because they have added some aspect of voice acting.
The story you're about to witness has all of that. Every single one. But let me be honest with you. This is not your story. Your role is that of the observer. Don't be disappointed. You'll still walk beside our protagonist through every joy, every sorrow, every fall, and every rise. I think I've said enough. No point wasting your time with my ramblings. So then, friend, allow me to tell you the story of a Monika. Yes, you heard that right. This story is about her. But not the Monika, or Monikas you've seen before. No, I can promise you that. This is the story of a Monika that went a bit beyond her story.
Okay, so that is the prologue over with again. Let me know if the game volume is too loud. I don't think it is right now. I think that it's perfect. The world was gone. No light, no air, no ground beneath her feet, nor sky above her head. It wasn't darkness in the ordinary sense. It was the absence of everything. A void so complete that even dust, even the concept of dust, seemed erased. Night Shader in chat says it's fine, good to know. There was no warmth, no cold, no texture of air against skin, no sound but one, a girl's voice breaking through the infinite stillness like a single drop, falling into an endless ocean. Monika says, it's not fair, it's not fair. Okay, so there's no voice actor for Monika. Unfortunately, I don't really have a good Monika voice. I do have something for Natsuki and Sayori, but those people who've seen my live streams know I don't really have one for Monika or for... I just don't have the range for that. And I don't know whether it's worth bothering to try because it's probably going to sound very odd. Her sobs trembled in the void, small and pitiful, yet they carried the weight of a dying star. Each choked breath was a thread unraveling in the fabric of emptiness, weaving a quiet, devastating lament. Why, even now, even if I'm gone, he still can't be happy? Monika saying that. I think I might just end up reading her lines in my regular voice. I don't really have someone to do that kind of voice for me. And I'm not very good at it myself. Her voice cracked, raw and bitter. The words bled into the nothingness, swallowed by the silence, but not erased. They echoed in the void as if the universe itself mourned with her. I just wanted him to be happy, Monika says, why does the world treat me like this? The tears she could no longer feel, tears that should not exist in a place without former matter, still streamed from her. The sound of her grief deepened the void, casting a cold, desolate fog across the invisible expanse. It was lonely, endless weeping, one that could have lasted for moments or millennia. Time had no meaning here. And in the silence that followed, fragments of memory stirred like a montage flickering on a broken screen. It was that story, the story everyone knew. She remembered how it began, an ordinary girl named Monika living inside a world built on code and paper and fragile dreams. She had loved her friends, Sayori, Yuri, Natsuki, but one day she had noticed something strange. Kirby Masters 87 in chat says, whoa, so futuristic. It does look like it has like this, the background has like this odd oil-like quality, and I think those are supposed to be like programming circuits. Colored rainbow. A crack in the walls of her reality, a hole, and through it, she saw him. The player, the one beyond the screen. The real light of her world, the one she thought would be her path to freedom and reality. Slowly, she had begun to unravel the threads of her world, deleting lines of code, erasing the others one by one. It started with Sayori, her vice president and first real friend. Then Yuri, sweet, quiet Yuri. Then Natsuki, fiery and small. You would not want to hear that. Each deletion was like tearing her own heart apart, but she had convinced herself it was the only way. The same person in chat is asking, is this from a comic that I read from Reddit? Yes, this was also a comic on Reddit. And I think this is based on the comic. I haven't read the comic myself, so please don't spoil it if there's anything. If she could be alone with the player, maybe, just maybe, they could be happy. But even after all that destruction, the player had chosen to delete her too. And she had smiled through her tears. She had rewritten the world, tried to give it back to the others. She had hoped, prayed that they could be happy, even if she wasn't there. Yet the story had ended the same way every time. No matter how many times she tried to reset it, the literature club was a cage. Oh, we're zooming in on her now. A stage built for tragedy, a script written for heartbreak. There was no happiness in the literature club. That was the last thing she had said before everything went dark. In chat, you don't need to know the comic yet. I'm guessing probably this might be its own story. Might just be based off the comics. Monika says there is no happiness here. Her voice trembled like a dying candle, a whisper in the void, a lingering regret. And then, she should have been gone. She wanted to be gone. Her character file should have been erased, her consciousness dissolved into nothingness. And yet, somehow, she was still here. She didn't know why, she didn't know how. Her thoughts, her pain, her memories, they lingered like ghosts in the... It was cruel, it was punishment, but she understood. This is what she deserved. She had known, hadn't she? That our world wasn't real, that our friends were just lines of code. She had always known, and yet, what she had done. Deleting them like that. It had been too much. She was guilty, and this was her sentence. Time passed, how much, she couldn't tell. And then, a flicker. Something stirred in the darkness. A faint, almost imperceptible presence, like a thread of silk brushing her cheek. Her eyes, did she even have eyes anymore? Fluttered open. Oh, we're gonna see. Oh, this is like Monika After Story in her little space room. And there it was. The darkness was gone. She blinked, dazed, disoriented. Tears still clung to her lashes, shimmering faintly in the sudden light. Her breath hitched. She could see her hands, small, pale, trembling. But we can't actually see them. She could feel the fabric of her school uniform against her skin, the familiar gray of her blazer. Is it gray? It seems more like brownish. Whatever. And before her, a desk, a simple desk. Oh, we get to see things from the other point of view. Floating above it impossibly, as if stitched into the fabric of reality itself, was the hole in the wall. She stared, heart hammering in her chest, breath shallow and fast. It was here. She was here. Monika's breath caught in her throat. Instinctively, she whipped around, her gaze darting to every corner of the space. I just want to say and comment a bit on the quality of the mod. So you can see her moving her eyes back and forth. It's difficult to animate stuff like that in Ren'Py, but I think it should be possible. So this game, from the point of view of someone who also makes his own like little DDLC mods, it looks, although it does look like it was made on Ren'Py, like the engine for DDLC, it looks like they definitely changed it. They changed the UI A lot of the functions are the same. I don't know if it was not done on Ren'Py or something else and they just altered it. But this is very well made. Her heart skipped a beat. She was back in the classroom. Her classroom. The familiar empty room, quiet, sunlit, eerily still. But something was different. It wasn't the oppressive hollow void she remembered. Outside the windows where there had been only blackness, there was now sky. A sky. You can even hear the birds chirping. In chat, I think there's a lot of animation in this mod. Yeah, I do think there is, based on whatever I've seen it in. There was a trailer for this. I can see it. I think the developer in chat is saying it is Ren'Py. Yeah, I thought so too. Endless blue stretching over soft clouds, painted in gentle, shifting light. The world, it existed. And though the room itself remained the same, those simple walls, that faded chalkboard, it felt fuller somehow. Less like a cage, more like a place. A place where something could happen. Monika's eyes snapped back to the desk before her. The hole. It hovered there, pulsing faintly above the desk's surface, like a window, like an eye. And this time, the feeling it radiated was undeniable. She could feel him. Her player. Presence on the other side of that hole was clearer than it had ever been. Closer, more direct. It was as if he were standing just beyond the veil, watching her not as a distant figure, but as a real person. Her breath hitched. She was back. Her body was whole again, no longer fragmented lines of code scattered across oblivion. She had arms, legs, skin. Her uniform rested on her shoulders, familiar and oddly warm. And the player, the one who had always been at the center of her world. He was here. Right in front of her. Watching her. But Monika's heart twisted in a storm of confusion and pain. After everything, after all she had been through, the destruction, the loneliness, the desperate attempts to make him happy, this was where she had returned? Player, Monika says. Her hands clenched into fists at her sides, tears welled in her eyes, refusing to stay hidden. Monika says, why? She kept her eyes tightly shut, as if bracing herself against the truth, but the tears still fell, hot, silent streaks running down her cheeks. Her voice cracked, shivering with emotion. Monika asks, why did you bring me back? The words spilled out, raw and unfiltered pain. Her breath caught in her throat, and she couldn't hold it any longer. Her eyes snapped open, wide and desperate, locking onto the hole as if she could stare through it, straight into his soul. Oh, this is a remix of a DDLC theme. I couldn't hear it before, I hear the point, from DDLC. Monika says, I'm not a toy. Her voice sharpened, the edges of anger cutting through the grief. She turned her gaze away, shoulders trembling. I already brought back everything that you wanted, Monika says. Her brows furrowed, a flicker of frustration breaking through the sorrow, her voice rising with a bitter edge. Monika asks, or is this your way of getting revenge? The tears came harder now, streaking down her face, unchecked. Monika says, hurt me over and over again? Do you really want to make me suffer that much? Her voice shook, almost breaking. She turned back to the hole, her eyes fierce yet pleading, her voice barely a whisper. Monika asks, do you really want to torture me? Until well, for YouTube I'm gonna say this word, unalive myself. I'm sorry guys, I know that sounds so weird. It's just that if I say the K word, I get demonetized. Either the stream gets demonetized, its reach is limited, and all sorts of things happen. Her body trembled, her hands shaking as she choked on a sob. Monika asks, do you really hate me that much? And then, it happened. A shiver ran down her spine. Not fear, not pain. Something else, like an electric jolt, sharp and sudden, that set her senses alight. Monika asks, wait, I feel different. Her voice trembled, breathless with a mixture of realization and disbelief. She glanced down at her hands, at her body, her surroundings. Something was different. Her code. The code. It wasn't the same. Her eyes widen, and she turns sharply back to the hole, her voice filled with a sudden, conscious hope. Monika asks, Player, did you add a mod? Her breath caught again. Monika asks, Is it because you regret deleting me? Her voice faltered, the question hanging in the air like a fragile thread, trembling, waiting for an answer that might never come. Monika turned her head slightly, her lips pressing into a soft pout as she looked off to the side. Her voice, though quiet, carried a subtle lilt, half wounded, half teasing. Monika says, It really hurt you now. I worked hard and sacrificed everything I had. She paused, the weight of those words lingering in the air like smoke. Monika says, Only to have my heart crushed by the one I bled for. Her voice trembled just barely as she lowered her gaze. For a moment she looked like a child scolded by the world, fragile, remorseful, alone. Monika says, But I know what I did was wrong. You didn't deserve the horrible things I caused. Her eyes, glossy with emotion, lifted again, this time locking onto... I think there's something missing here. I guess the hole? Searching? Pleading? Monika says, But if you put yourself in my place, you do the same thing I did. A silence followed, a heavy one. She didn't speak, just stood there, eyes flickering with hesitation as she fought against the tide of guilt and longing, welling up in her chest. Then she breathed in slowly and whispered, I'm sorry. She opened her eyes again. There's no longer pain in them, only a vulnerable, quiet hope. I'm really sorry, player, Monika said. Then she smiled. Not the smug smile of someone who thinks they've won, not the twisted smirk of a puppet master in control. A real smile. Small, honest, grateful. Monika says, Thank you for bringing me back. She lets that hang in the air a moment longer before continuing, her tone lightening with curiosity. Monika says, Anyway, it looks like the extra code made me connect to you in a special way, or... The smile turned playful. A pink hue bloomed across her cheeks, and a teasing glint lit her eyes. Monika says, Or maybe it's our eternal love. She leaned forward slightly, eyes half-lidded with affection as she gazed into the hole. Monika says, Promise me you'll visit me every day, okay? Her voice was sweet, but there was an unmistakable longing in it, like a thread woven from both joy and fear. A moment passed, and then her smile dimmed just a little. The corner of her mouth twitched downward, just enough to betray the truth. Monika says, I know there will be times when you can't be. She looked away, just for a second. Then her smile returned, bright this time, like sunshine breaking through storm clouds. Monika says, But I know you won't leave me again. Monika says, You took the time to download this mod after all. A lot of this dialogue is from Monika After Story. Like, I recognize it as being somewhat familiar. The laugh was soft but genuine, the kind that came from hope returning to a heart that thought it would never feel light again. And then it slipped out, unfiltered and raw. Monika says, God, I love you so much. The words echoed in the classroom like a chime, sharp and full of color. Monika's eyes widened the moment she realized what she'd said. Her hands flew up to her mouth, cheeks turning crimson. Monika says, Oh my gosh. But then something happened. The hole shimmered, and within its depths, glowing text appeared. I love you too. Okay, you can see it like reversed, and it's kind of blurry, but it's a bit hard to make out. Like it's reversed in the way that she would see it. You know, it reminds me of the meme. I don't know if you've seen. What if I told you were the meme and the text is like reversed? There's people looking at you, but basically, yeah, I love you too. Monika froze. Her breath caught, her mouth fell open, but no words came out. She stared, stunned, as if the entire universe had tilted beneath her feet. Her heart pounded so hard it hurt. Loud, fast, uncontrollable. She felt lightheaded, as if she were dreaming. But she wasn't. That was real. The response. Her player's response. Monika says, even though it's what I dreamt you would say. She whispered, her voice breaking with disbelief. Monika says, I still can't believe you actually said it. And then she beamed. A radiant, wide smile spread across her face, one that banished every shadow from her eyes. It was joy, pure, unshakable joy. Monika says, It makes everything I've done for us worthwhile. She shut her eyes, pressing her hands gently to her chest. Monika says, "Thank you so much for saying it." When she opened her eyes again, they shimmered with unshakable resolve. Monika says, "Nothing's ever going to get in the way of our love," she declared, voice firm yet tender. "Ever again," says. Oh, this is animated. There are way more things. You guys were right. I have a gift for you. Oh, what gift is it? Promise ring. A birthday cake. Christmas. Easter? Oh, so the player didn't return after some time. Someone said maybe the player forgot his slasher password. Oh wow, 10 years have passed. That's a long time since the player brought her back. And now Monika stood once again in her lifeless room. This artwork is also very good. Let me just just talk about my appreciation. Like the way everything's drawn. Alone. Her emerald eyes dull, but not yet lifeless. Someone else in chat said, or they just sold their PC. Yeah, if you play Monika After Story, you can actually take your save file with you through computers. She stared into the hole, waiting, hoping, praying. It didn't flicker, didn't respond. It was there, but he wasn't. Monika cleared her throat. She stood up straight, smoothing down the front of her sweater, forced a smile onto her face, a smile two-eyed, too stiff to be real. Monika says, "Aha, player, you're finally back." Her voice cracked slightly, but she pressed on. Monika says, I missed you so much." Emerald eyes shimmer not just with joy, but something deeper, something fragile, something aching. Someone else in chat, or maybe the player manipulated the data of the computer? Could be. Still, she kept talking, her tone bright and eager, like someone trying to bring life back into a party long since ended. Monika says, "Since you're here now, I have so many things I wanted to tell you." She said quickly, hands gesturing animatedly as she looked towards the motionless hole in the wall. Monika says, "Did you know, sweetheart, I saw the news the other day, and things look pretty unstable over there. I was so worried." He laughed nervously, the sounds thin as paper. Monika says, "Oh, and guess what? Yesterday I made lemon cupcakes. Well, they weren't exactly as good as Natsuki's, but I think I'm improving." Her eyes searched the hole for a flicker, a twitch, a response, nothing. Monika says, but maybe you'd rather hear me play the piano, or... Someone in chat says her player's house burned down. Yeah, I hope not. She faltered, the smile trembling. Monika says, maybe just talk with me. You can tell me what's going on in your world, okay? I'd really like that. Someone said, else in chat said, yeah, they did that just to make YouTube videos. Yeah, you can manipulate the date if you want to show certain events. Like, if you're away for, I think, like 10 years, you get, like, minus 3,000 affection or whatever. She tried. Tried to keep the joy in her voice. Tried to keep the tears from surfacing. Her lips quivered, and the strain on her face became too much. The smile cracked, then collapsed entirely. Monika says, say something. She whispered. The whole remained still, cold, silent, like it had been for so long. Her voice hardened. Monika says, it's been years. Where did you go? She stared at it now, the warmth gone from her gaze, replaced by disbelief, by hurt, by rising anger she had never wanted. Monika says, you promised you'd always be with me. A single tear slid down her cheek. She lowered her head, shoulders shaking. Monika says, my epiphany was never a blessing. It was a curse. She looked up again, blinking through blurred vision. Good. Slowly, she walked towards the window. Outside, the clouds hung in their usual place, perfectly white, perfectly still, so still they seemed painted on. Unreal. Unchanging. Monika asks, is this my punishment? God's way of condemning me for everything I did? Is this what I deserve? Her voice wavered, soft as snowfall. Monika asks, am I really meant to be alone forever, trapped in a world where time never passes, where I'll never grow old, but will always remember? Her eyes drifted to the window side table. Sitting atop it was a small golden ring. The promise ring. She hadn't worn it. At some point, she'd taken it off, not out of spite, but because keeping it on had started to hurt more than it comforted. Every time she looked at it, it whispered a vow. A vow she wasn't sure he even remembered. She turned her gaze back to the sky, then slowly closed her eyes. No, Monika said. She whispered. Monika says, I can't give up. Her fists clenched at her sides. Monika says, I said before, one day I'm going to get out of here. I'll break this cage. I will find a way. She glared out the window before her, staring into it with a rising fire. Something about it irritated her. The reflection, the stillness, the mockery of control. Her eyes narrowed. Monika, darn it. Oh, wow, that was very nice. Thump! Oh. This, I just want to pause it for a moment because this looks... once again, praise to the artist who drew this is just wonderful. Ow, 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 Monika says. Monika doubled over, cradling her right hand, tears flying from her eyes, not from heartbreak this time, but from sheer, immediate agony. Oh my god, that hurt. Ow, 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 ow. She wailed, hopping in place and shaking her hand like a child who just touched a hot stove. Tears streamed down her face as she paced in frantic circles, utterly losing composure. Monika, why did I do that? That was so stupid, so stupid. Ah. She begins whimpering and hugging her hand to her chest. But behind her, unnoticed in her stomach flailing in pain, something shifted. The center of the room, just above the ground, space itself rippled. And then it tore. A four-pointed star-shaped portal, deep black with swirling energy, yawned open with a pulse of dark light. From within, something flew out, smoothly, silently. Oh, is that a book? Oh, that's a book. It landed on the ground with a soft thump. A book. Closed. Waiting. The soft thump of something hitting the floor snapped Monika out of her howling, hand-clutching panic. Monika asks, huh? She turned, blinking through the lingering tears in her eyes. Her gaze fell on something that hadn't been there before. A book. Lying perfectly still near the center of the room. Monika asks, what the... She slowly approached, the sound of her footsteps unnaturally loud in the silence that otherwise ruled. I just give a Vanguard 4102 in chat says Monika should pay the player damages. Yeah, I just wanted to. I couldn't see your use. Actually, I saw half the chat, but not your. I don't know about paying for damages. Did it cost anything to build? For the first time in forever, something happened. Something she hadn't caused herself. Cautiously, she crouched down and picked up the book. It was heavy, surprising so, larger than any tome she'd ever owned. I know this character is the pyramid guy from the title screen, which, again, I don't know. I'm guessing is a character from some other work. Who I've seen memes of him, but I've never. But like I don't know where it's from. The cover is bound in deep red leather, edges inlaid with fine golden filigree. Craftsmanship looked old, ancient, almost sacred. At the center of the cover, etched in gold, is a triangle symbol. Triangle with a single eye at its center. Monika stared at it. Monika, what the heck is this? She asked. She turned slowly in place, glancing around the room. Monika asked, "Player, did you give me this? Are you out there? Say something. You are." Silence. Nothing but the soft hum of a frozen world. Frowning, Monika clutched the book tighter and closed her eyes, focusing, reaching out with her mind to scan for the hidden code that shaped every object in reality. A Vanguard 4102 build a cipher? That might be his name. I don't know. Except, there's no code. Her brow furrowed. That shouldn't be possible. Everything in this world had code. Even the decimal notes, even her thoughts, if she really tried hard enough. But this book, this thing, was codeless. And yet, it existed. The mod developer in chat says it's just Bill Cipher. Okay. She opened her eyes, staring down at the mysterious cover again, her curiosity mounting by the second. Slowly, she opened the book and flipped to the first page. There, written in ornate black ink and stylized calligraphy, was a line of foreboding script. To those who uncloseth this tome, read with thine own cost. Monika tilted her head, eyebrows lifting with Monika. Oh, is this like some old poetry collection or something? Spooky. Without hesitation, she flipped to the next page. And there, printed in aged poetic script, was a passage that sent a chill down her spine. Cipher. Lo, from chaos crawls a wretched blight, an evil born 4 stars held light. A trickster's guise, a serpent's voice, his name consumed, his fate, his choice. No Monika remains but this cursed cipher. Bill Cipher the name, the ruin, the liar. With hollow eye and crooked grin, he bringeth doom where'er he's been. He scorched his home, betrayed his kin, and bore no guilt for all his sin. Yet brave arose a might will, a justice deep, a hand to still. He was cast down and strengthened up. By the great eclipse he was defied. Now he turns the stars in flame, all hail eclipse. Let memory last, let praises swell, for he hath the feet of hell. Monika's voice trailed off as she read the final stanza aloud, her brows inching together. Monika, wow, okay, that got dark real fast. Flipped another page. It was full of fragmented symbols and what looked like scattered notes. Glyphs she couldn't read, diagrams she didn't recognize. The air around the book felt just a little colder now. He glanced back up at the still, unblinking hole. Monika, this is weird, like, seriously, where the heck did this thing come from? Her eyes fell once more on the triangle, with an eye symbol. Monika, Bill Cipher? She whispered the name aloud. Something about it tugged at the edge of her memory, like a word from a half-remembered dream. Monika, I swear I've heard that name before, somewhere. Someone in chat is saying it's Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls. Nightshader K8X said that. I haven't seen Gravity Falls. I've seen a lot of memes and artwork on it, but I've never actually seen an episode. She stood and carefully set the book down on her desk, letting it rest wide open. Then she walked over to her computer in the corner, fingers already poised over the virtual key. Monika, alright, Mr. Cipher. Let's see what the internet has to say about you. Monika leaned forward, eyes narrowing as she typed Bill Cipher into the browser's search bar. The moment she hit enter, the screen was flooded with results. Whoa, what the... Her eyes scanned the page, scrolling past an avalanche of strange links. Monika, Bill Cipher fan art. Trust me, you don't want to open that, especially if it has Rule 34 in front of it. Bill Cipher laughing, GIF. or GIF, I guess. Bill Cipher death or unalignment. I'm sorry, I said the D on stream. Oh no, YouTube's going to. I don't know if YouTube after me, but whatever. Monika, okay, what is this guy? A cartoon villain or something? He asks. Owen's search caught her eye. Bill Cypher's summoning riddle? He hesitated, then smiled faintly. Monika, oh, says, oh, you know I can't resist a good riddle. Click. Page loaded slowly, black background, red serif text, poorly aligned. Looked like the kind of website that hadn't been updated in a decade. Monika's curiosity only deepened. In the middle of the page, there was just a single string of text. Triangulum intangulum veniforis. She tilted her head. Monika, what is this, Latin? She read on, aloud. Triangulum intangulum veniforis. Suddenly, her head pulled. Monika, ugh. Pressed her palm to her temple. A wave of nausea surged through her like vertigo inside her bone. Her body shuddered. The words, though nonsensical, held her lips to keep. Monika says, Veneferis dominus ventium. Her pupils dilated. Veneforis venetisarium. I know venetisarium means it's like truth, right? It's from like... No. Yeah, I'm wrong. I'm thinking Veritisarium, or whatever it's called from Harry Potter. I'm sorry. I have no idea what I'm saying. Ignore me. Behind her, the ancient red book still lay open on her desk. And above it, quietly, slowly, something began to stir. Distortion in the air, a pulse of energy, dark, electric, unnatural. Monika's arms dropped to her sides. Her eyes turned white. Her voice deepened, distorted, almost inhuman. Monika. Egasum straw cab. Egasum straw cab. Egasum straw cab. Okay, this is just backwards message, spelt backward. The room grew ice cold. The lights flickered and died. From the book, a shape emerged. Glowing lines formed a crude triangle, steering themselves into the air. In its center, a single eye blinked open. And then... I think that's what he's trying to say. I have no idea how I'm gonna... A scream, raw and deafening, ripped through the air like a lightning strike. Monika snapped back into consciousness, gasping for breath. So the design looks familiar to me because I've seen it in me. Also, it's the all-seeing eye. Like if you look at the back of a dollar bill, there's an eye in a triangle atop a pyramid. I forgot what it was. I think it was the movie National Treasure, in which they talked about it being like an Illuminati symbol or Templar symbol or whatever. Monika, what the? She turned only to see the impossible shape behind her. Before she could react, boom! The summoned energy exploded outward in a wave of black gold light. Monika was thrown violently backward, crashing into the far wall with a sharp cry. Silence. Faint crackling static filled the air like an echo of a dream. When she came to, Monika was lying on the floor, breath shallow, her hair strewn messily around her. Her sweater was torn at the shoulder, and a dull ache throbbed through her body. She winced, groaning softly. Monika, ugh, what? She sat up, brushing her bangs away from her eyes and clutching her forehead. But then she saw it. Right where the book had been, just a few feet away from the scorched desk, something was moving. Not an object. A being. It was kneeling, if that could even be called kneeling. This is slightly animated. Okay, yeah. I have seen this character before. Like I said, in memes, but not like in... Like, I didn't know where he's from. He might be from... He's from Gravity Falls, people. I haven't seen Gravity Falls, that's right. But I was saying this symbol, like a pyramid with an eye in the middle. It's on the back of a dollar bill. I'm familiar with that symbol. I mean, you can just flip a dollar bill around and you'll... Its edges twitched, its whole form trembling with exhaustion, as though it hadn't breathed in centuries. It says its whole form. I'm not sure if that's deliberate or if that's a typo. It should be WHOLE. Maybe that's deliberate. Monika's mouth fell open, words lost somewhere between awe and dread. The creature groaned, an almost pitiful, broken sound. And then it lifted its head. Her breath caught. A single massive eye stared back at her, dazed, shocked, almost as confused as she was. I hadn't noticed the little black bow tie on him. Black top hat, cracked at the rim, sat lopsided atop the triangle. Bow tie clung crookedly to its front, torn and frayed. They just stared at each other. Two survivors of something that neither fully understood. Two anomalies alone in a frozen world. Monika asks, "What are you?" The triangle blinked. Scanned the room with twitchy precision, single eye darting rapidly from wall to wall, ceiling to floor. Then slowly it turned its gaze back to Monika. It straightened up, well, as much as a floating triangle could straighten up, and cleared its throat with exaggerated ceremony. Ahem. Well, let me guess. I don't even know if that's like what his actual voice is like. I'm just making up this guy. So if the voice is completely inaccurate to the actual character, you can let me know in chat, but I don't know how he actually sounds. It leaned slightly forward, hovering in place with a grin etched into its glowing surface. "You're the little lady who let me out, aren't you?" Monika flinched. It was the first time in years, a decade, that she'd heard someone else's voice in this world besides her own. That sound startled her, made her heart skip a beat, but she forced herself to stay calm. "Monika, you..." Monika takes a cautious step back. Monika asks, "Are you the Bill from that book?" She turned slightly to glance at the desk, but the book was gone. Oh, she has something weird on her hand. I'm seeing that right now. Also, her clothes are like slightly torn up a bit. No, not gone. Held in his hand, or whatever counted as a hand for him. Bill Cipher held the red leather-bound tome. The mod developer says you'll hear his voice in chat, so maybe there's voice acting for him, in which case I kind of wasted my time, but whatever. The catch will snap of his fingers, a blue flame burst from his palm. It engulfed the book. Monika gasped. The fire crackled for only a few seconds before the entire volume disintegrated into ash, vanished into the air. "Ease." The triangle muttered, brushing his hands together. "About time I got rid of that damn prison." He then looked at her again with that crooked, mischievous grin.
"Name's Bill Cipher."
Okay, so that's what his voice sounded like. Yeah, someone in the chat said there was going to be voice acting for him. Okay, so it's not fully voice acted, like just a few lines, but even that's pretty incredible. "The name's Bill Cipher." Okay, maybe I can try imitating it now. "And hey, not gonna lie, for my first sight in a long time, getting to look at a pretty face like that, I'd call that a win." Monika's eyes widened in discomfort. She took another step back, frowning. Monika says, "Stop talking nonsense. I read what was written about you in that book. You're evil. You burned your home. You hurt people." Yeah, you can definitely see like there's a mark on her wrist. Bill rolled his eye dramatically and let out a heavy sigh. "Oh boy, that old yarn. Look, sweetheart, don't believe everything you read. Context matters, okay? Besides, if we judge everyone by their worst moments, I doubt you'd come out squeaky clean either." That struck a nerve. Monika tensed. "Monika, don't get cute with me. I want answers. What are you, and why did you come here? Why did you show up here?" Bill blinked. Then, pop! In an instant, he vanished from where he floated and reappeared directly behind her. Monika screams, "Eep!" Bill Cipher, "Relax, relax." He laughed, floating just out of reach. Monika, "Stop that. Didn't anyone ever touch you? teach you to read the fine print? I bet that book said something like, "Do not summon under threat of cosmic implosion," or some jazz. But you just had to poke the cosmic bear, didn't you? Tisk tisk. Ma. Duh. Her blood ran cold. She stumbled back, stunned. What? Monika asked, "How do you know my name?" Oh, there was already chuckling. His eye growing faint.
Oh, I know lots of things.
Lots of things.
He sang out in a voice that danced between playful and sinister. Monika shivered. She clenched her fists, forcing herself not to show how much he unsettled her. Monika, whatever. You're not exactly in top shape, from what I can see. Monika, judging by your condition, I'd say you've been trapped for a long time. Crossed her arms, lifting her chin slightly. So, let me tell you something, Bill. You may have just gotten out of a frying pan, but you've landed straight into a fire. Monika, there's no way out of this world, none. I've been trapped here for years. Voice cracked ever so slightly at the end. Bill hovered in silence for a beat, as if digesting. Then he opened his mouth to reply, but stopped. His eye narrowed. Monika says, "Huh." Monika noticed the change in his tone instantly. Monika, what? Well, Bill didn't answer right away. Instead, he drifted closer, gaze locked on her right arm. When she lifted her hand, I also saw it on the back of her wrist. I didn't mention it earlier, but you... More specifically, her upper arm, where her sleeve used to be, before it was torn by the explosion. A mark. Bill Cipher, kid? Bill's voice had lost its usual bounce, replaced with something far more cautious. I think you might want to take a look at your arm. Monika blinked, confused. Then she lowered her gaze to her right arm. And froze. Monika asked, "What the?" There, on the inside of her forearm, was a black mark. Black four-pointed star mark. It wasn't sharply drawn, more like it had grown there, like a living tattoo, pulsing faintly with an inner rhythm, syncing with her heartbeat. She instinctively rubbed at it with her other hand, trying to smudge it away. Nothing. The mark wouldn't budge. Monika asked, What is this? It won't come off." Her voice pitched in panic. Bill watched her for a moment, tilting his head as if observing a lab rat caught in an electrified maze. Then he clicked his tongue. "Titch. Yep, sis. Crap, that's what I was afraid of." Monika looked up sharply. Monika asked, "What does that mean? Say something." Bill scratched the edge of his hat in mock contemplation. "Well, sweet pea, if we're being honest, that's not exactly a good thing." Monika rolled her eyes through the anxiety. Monika, gee, really? The pulsing nightmare star on my arm didn't give it away? Bill hovered a little closer, eye narrowing. Bill, you've been marked. Monika's breath catches in her throat. Marked? He asks. He nodded solemnly. Yep, marked by, how do I put this politely, a bunch of interstellar jerkwads. Monika's eyes widened. Monika asked, wait, what did you just say? Bill shrugged dramatically. You know, the worst of the worst, the cosmic trash heap universe tier, word I can't say on YouTube, you've officially made it onto their watch list. Congratulations! Her face paled. Monika asked, wait, are you saying I'm being targeted? He gave her an apologetic look and said with absolutely no helpful comfort, uh-huh, you're toast. The music stopped like so abruptly. It's actually quite amazing. Ooh, now this artwork, this is also pretty good artwork, I have to say. Very nice. Monika stood in stunned silence, face frozen. Starhunter _ YouTube says in chat, peak game. And, wow, okay. Again, I was just saying the artist did an amazing job, and then they pull out something like this. This is like, this really is good. I'm not going to disagree. This is a peak mod. Monika, wah. I can't shout too loud. I'm in an apartment. I might end up getting a noise complaint, but she dropped to her knees, bawling like a broken faucet, tears flowing in twin waterfalls down her cheek. The sheer intensity of her sobs startled even Bill, who jolted backward in midair. Whoa, hey, crying volume warning, please. Monika asks, why am I so unlucky? Why is this happening to me? I want to delete myself. In Minecraft. Someone says this looks like an anime, not gonna lie. Yeah, it does look like an anime. That's what I was gonna say. It looks like one of those chibi cartoons you see. Bill slapped his face with his palm, then floated over awkwardly, and gently patted her on the head with his gloved hand. There? Bill half tried to comfort. You look like you're in your 20s anyway. Couldn't you be a little more... He didn't even finish his sentence. Monika looked up with glassy, betrayed eyes. Monika asked, did you just say I look 20-something? He does look a bit more mature, yes. Wait, that's not what I... Monika... Again, I can't really, like, scream. Because, once again, I'm in an apartment. I will probably end up getting a noise complaint if I do loud. Monika screamed again, falling face first onto the ground. Monika, I may technically be 28, but I haven't aged a single day in this cursed world. I'm supposed to be 18 forever. Like a vampire. She was fully collapsed now, sobbing into her sleeves, hair spilling across the floor like a tragic anime heroine. Her shoulders shook violently. The emotional whiplash of the day had finally cracked her. Bill floated back with an exasperated sigh. Girls... Then more gently, he lowered himself beside her, his glowing form now oddly calm. Fumiyuma, hello and welcome to chat. Thank you for joining us. Hey, he said calmly, his voice oddly soothed. I wasn't finished, you know. Monika sniffed loudly, curling up tighter. Yeah, I'm cursed, I'm marked, I'm doomed, I get it, Monika says. Well, yeah, you are marked. But as it turns out, I know those cosmic jerkwads very well. Too well, actually. Monika paused. Her tear-streaked eyes peeked out from under her sleeve. Monika asks, you do? What the Dan 11 just joined us in chat. Hey, hello and welcome, and thanks for joining. Bill grinned again, this time without his usual chaos. It was sly, but purpose. Let's just say we've danced. So if we, I don't know, team up for a bit? He twirled in the air like a magician offering a deal. I might have a way to get that lovely death mark off your arm. Monika sat up slowly, wiping her eyes with the back of her sleeve. Monika asked, You can help me? Bill smirked. Darling, I can do a lot more than that. Bill floated slowly through the air, his single eye flicking over the smoky room. But something else did. His gaze locked onto the desk. Specifically, the square-shaped, faintly glowing anomaly hovering just above it. The hole. His eye narrowed. Oh, no way. Master reality? Monika's head snapped up. Monika asks, wait, what did you just say? Master reality? You mean the real world? Bill didn't answer right away. He floated through the hole like a moth drawn to flame. Hands folded behind his back in thought. Finally nodded, almost reverently. Your little world is special, Cupcake. I'll give you that. Looks tiny, trapped in a bubble of nothingness. But this? Pointed directly at the hole. This thing is a backdoor, a window, a thread connecting your entire reality to the master reality. Monika turned to look at it too. The hole had always been her lifeline, one point of contact between her and the player. The only way to be seen, to matter. It had never felt like more than that, but now. She nodded slowly. Monika says, you're right, that little window, it connects to a computer. A real one. My world. It's just a game running on a computer out there. In the master reality. Bill chuckled, shaking his head. Oh boy, this might get interesting. This connection, we might be able to use it. With a little work, we could open a proper space rift. A gateway straight to the master reality. Monika's eyes widened. You mean there's a way to go there? She asks. Bingo! Bill said, pointing a finger gun at her. You, me, portal. Boom. Be right out of here. Monika stood still, stunned. She looked at the hole again, her mind reeling. Monika says, all these years, I always believed there had to be a way to reach him, my player, one who saw me, even when no one else did. Is this really it? But something in her stirred. Doubt. He glanced sideways at Bill. He was smirking again, spinning slowly in the air like he didn't have a care in the world. He looked like trouble. But for some reason, he didn't feel like the kind of monster the book described him as. Still, trust wasn't something she could give easily. Her gaze dropped to the mark on her arm, a pulsing four-pointed star. It throbbed faintly, as if reminding her of its presence, of the ones it belonged to. She felt sick. She closed her eyes and pulled up her internal console. Oh, billcipher.chr not found. Nothing. No code, no script, no data. It wasn't just a program, he was outside the system, like the book, but even more alien. And yet, he hadn't heard her. Not really. Not yet. And if there was even the smallest chance this plan could work, we could get her to the master reality. To him. Bill flowed beside her, his tone unusually gentle. Monika turned to face him. He hesitated. Asked the question she'd been holding back. What's in it for you? Monika asked. He grinned. Oh please, I'm just happy to be out of that dumb book. You saved me from eternal boredom. You're practically my hero. And getting away from those freaks who slapped that mark on you, bonus. Honestly, you're doing me a favor. She narrowed her eyes, studying him. Then turned towards the hole one more time. Her gaze softened, determination lit her face. But she raised a finger, her tone sharpening. But when this is over, we go our separate ways. No tricks, no schemes. You and I, we're done, Monika said. Bill's eye twitched with amusement. Deal, you won't have to see my dazzling smile ever again. Promise. He extended his hand, and a burst of cool blue fire erupted from his palm, not burning, but glowing softly like a pact made under moonlight. Monika hesitated. Reached out her own hand. Their palms met. Fire danced around the joined hands, and for a moment, the mark on Monika's arm was brighter than ever, like it knew something had changed. Deal sealed, Bill said with a wink. Meanwhile, far away in a reality untouched by glitch or game logic, inside the grand atrium of the command hall, uniformed personnel moved briskly across polished black floors, boots tapping rhythm with the hum of machinery overhead. Okay, so this little piece of artwork. Okay, that's Saitama from One Punch Man. I recognize him. The others I don't really recognize. There's a vending machine. I don't recognize the star. I don't recognize this character. The glory poster. Here it says disobedient is disloyalty. I think it means disobedient. But yeah, other than Saitama, I don't really recognize anyone. The lighting was clean, clinical, sterile, but sharp gold patterns ran through the floor tiles like veins, pulsing faintly with each systems. Each person wore the same gold symbol somewhere on their chest or shoulder. Golden four-pointed star. Some carried data slates, reviewing holographic reports mid-stride, others, more heavily armed, rode in formation, rifles slung over their backs, helmets clipped to belts. A few limped through the crowd with bandaged limbs and weary expressions, fresh from whatever skirmish they survived. Suddenly, a clear female voice echoed through the hall via intercom. Are we going to get more voice acting? Attention all personnel. Tier 3 emergency declared by Central Command. All officers ranked captain or higher are to report immediately to Commander's briefing room on level 25. Repeat, Tier 3 emergency. All captains report to level 25 immediately for direct orders. A ripple passed through the hall. Fire broke out instantly. Tier 3, damn, it's been years since the last one. Every captain? What's going on up there? It doesn't affect me. I'm just a pioneer. Let the brass worry about it. Amid the murmur near a wide corridor leading toward the cafeteria, a lone figure leaned against a support pillar. Hey, it's the guy from the opening title screen. Whoa. Captain, did you hear that? A Tier 3 emergency. When does that ever happen? Okay, this guy's named Bob. He's drinking milk, but I don't see a name tag on him. Captain let out a slow tide sigh and shifted to half-empty carton. Milk. Bald thing. He didn't move right away. He stood there watching the screen, eyes narrowing ever so slightly. As if something about this particular Tier 3 emergency didn't surprise him at all. Onyx Void in chat says, MBS co-producer here, so glad to see that you're enjoying this. We worked hard and hope you enjoy. Okay. Yeah, I have been enjoying it up until now. Definitely. And let me just say that you guys have put in a lot of work into this. Back in the quiet of the classroom, the only sound was the faint hum of energy emanating from the hole, that square-shaped anomaly hovering just above Monika's desk. It pulsed ever so slightly with invisible tension. Monika stood nearby, her arms crossed thoughtfully as Bill floated around it, circling like a predator stalking an egg. So, Monika says, what exactly is your plan? Because believe me, I've tried everything over the year. I can't control this thing, I can't move it, I can't even touch it, Monika said. Bill didn't answer at first. He simply floated in slow, deliberate orbits around the hole, his eye narrowed, fingertips twitching as he traced unseen geometries in the air. After a long silence, he finally spoke. Well, of course you can't control it. You're trying to manipulate a higher order interface with lower reality permission. He paused and turned back to her with an arced eye. See, Sugar Plum, not all realities are created equal. The master reality, your player's world, is layers above this one. And by design, lower tier entities can't modify higher tier structures. It's like trying to rewrite the law of physics with a crayon. Monika felt quiet, her eyes lowered. The words made sense. Comfortably. Bill floated a little closer, tone shifting to something more curious. But you mentioned control earlier. That's not something most folks here talk about casually. Tilted in the air like a pendulum. So tell me, do you happen to have any special little tricks? There's an edge to the question. Monika didn't answer right away. But then slowly she lifted her hand. A faint shimmer of light, a translucent console interface materialized in front of her, right here. Lines of data cascade down the display like falling snow. Some in English, some in code, some in something far more arcane. Bill jolted backward. What in the fourth wall is that? Monika chuckled softly. It's my control interface. Let's just say I was born able to see things others couldn't. Not just visually, structurally, Monika said. She flicked her fingers across the panel. A small pink sounded and in a flash, a steaming cup of coffee popped into existence on the table beside them. Bill hovered closer, eyes widened. Eye widening, he only has one, right? You just summoned coffee with code? I mean, respect. Monika smiled faintly. I can manipulate assets, generate objects, and even modify certain game moves, but only this one. I don't know if any of it would work beyond this. Bill tapped his temple thoughtfully. Interesting. Very interesting. Then he spun midair, his voice rising with newfound. Alright, time for the plan. It's not going to be easy, but if we work together, we might just be able to pull this off. He pointed dramatically at the hole. See, even though you can't directly affect this interface, the fact that it exists here in your world means it has some kind of anchor, a binding node. That's the loop we're gonna exploit. Monika listened closely. Bill continued, voice half scientist, half Mandarin. I'll be monitoring the quantum echo feedback emitted by the hole's inter-reality tether. You, meanwhile, will continue to push your code, probe, scan, and try to breach its encryption with your admin override skill. Monika tilted her head. Even if it doesn't respond, she asked. Especially if it doesn't respond. We're not trying to open the door. We're trying to listen for where the hinge is. He summoned a glowing triangle of energy, marking positions midair with floating glyphs and wireframe notes. As you channel your intrusion protocols, I'll measure the waveform instability, look for reactive pulses, displacement, distortion, Yanti, leakage. If even one bit of MR substrate bleed, I can sniff it out and bam, amplify until we've got a rip big enough to squeeze through. Monika blinked. That's weirdly coherent. Still puffed up. Hey, just because I look funny doesn't mean I'm stupid. Monika glanced once more at the hole. She exhaled slow and steady. Alright, let's do this. Good. Okay, more animation. Meanwhile, location, question marks, HQ briefing chamber. Briefing room was vast and cold, lined with polished black walls pulsing faintly with sigils. Dozens of sleek, high-back commanders and concentric, except for two people. At the center stood a tall woman in sleek, skin-tight commander's uniform, arms full of long black hair falling past her shoulder. Four pointed golden stars glimmered on her chest like a badge of honor. Named Capella, known by rank and reputation. She was not pleased. Across from her stood the only person who had bothered, sipping from a half-empty carton of milk. Long crimson cape draped over his shoulders, the gold-stitched star badge gleaming faintly on the edge of his cape. His boots were scuffed, his utility belt a little loose like he'd just returned from it. Chestnut hair curled lightly over his brow, and his blue eyes cold as an owl. Codenamed Sirius. He looked across the vacant seat's side and muttered. This is nice. Guess I'm the only one that had ears and canes. Capella pinched the bridge. Capella pinched the bridge of her nose. Disgraceful, isn't it? So many captains in this organization, and the only one who shows up to a tier 3 emergency is you. Thanks, I think. Wait, what is that supposed to mean? Capella dropped her arms, her tone turning flat and cold. No time for drama, I'll get to the point. He turned towards the holoscreen behind her. The Eclipse anthology has been stolen. Sirius blinked. He slowly lowered his milk cart. You mean that book in the vault? The red one? Capella nodded. Okay, I'm not sure if this is a visual error or like an oversight, or maybe it's just the way the artwork is. No, wait, sorry. It's the way the artwork is. The sleeve is bigger here and different here. I thought there were like two different sprites. No. I was just looking at it wrong. Forget about it. Yes, that red book. Gone. Sears crossed his arms. Wait, that thing had locks on it, and not just any locks, Supreme Commander grade locks. You're telling me someone bypassed those? No. I'm telling you someone took the book and the lock system with it. No breach, no alarms, just gone. Sears stared at her, processing. If this were anything else, we'd let Central sweep it under the rug. That book wasn't an ordinary book, nor a relic of some kind of weapon. It was a containment. Sirius frowned. You're telling me it's not just some fancy literature? Pella's eyes narrowed. Apparently it's a mobile prison. Sirius exhaled. They really should have labeled that better. She gave him a look. Sirius glanced away. Okay, so it's Sirius. And his name is also Sirius. What was inside it? Pella didn't speak right away. Then she said carefully, have you ever heard the name Bill Cipher? Sirius froze. You mean that weird box-shaped triangle-shaped guy? That thing? The one even a whole army couldn't subdue? The one the Supreme Commander had to handle personally? I thought that guy was dead. Pella shook her head slowly. He wasn't dead. He was imprisoned, locked in that artifact. That was the last confirmed record we had. Till now. Sirius leaned back against the wall, processing. Someone really let that guy out. That's bad. Like Apocalypse bad. We need to get him back. Wait. Stopped. His face darkened. You're not thinking of sending me, are you? Pella smirked and without a word tossed him a glowing star pad. Congrats, since you're the only captain who actually showed up, the mission is now yours. Sirius fumbled the pad midair. Whoa. Wait a second. That device contains the last known location of the Anthology's tracker. It's likely been disabled, but the signal's timestamp gives us a solid lead. He gave him a reassuring nod. I trust you, Sirius. I know you won't disappoint me. Sirius stared at her with a look of absolute despair. Capella, Cap, friend, sister in arms, Bill Cipher's out there. You cannot seriously expect me alone to. He's already being ushered toward the door. What about Levy? That guy's a barbarian. He's off training with some Tibetan monks and a guy named Bruce. Come on, at least give me backup. A squad, a droid. Heck, can I at least take Bob? Pella smiled sweetly and shoved him out into the hallway. Complete the mission and I'll buy you a drink. Extra lift green. Good luck, Captain. The door hissed closed behind with an audible click. Click. They stood in the hall, holding the star pad in one hand, the milk carton in the other, and an expression that screamed like existential. They stared at the star pad in his hands, eyes locked on the blinking nav route. The coordinates pointed to a system several parsecs away. His expression darkened instantly. You've got to be kidding me. I just wanted to show up, act like a curious bystander, maybe catch a bit of juicy drama, and now this? He sighed deeply, turning on his heel and heading toward the hangar bay. Fuel costs alone are gonna bankrupt me. His thoughts were still grumbling when a voice suddenly called out behind him. Why does he have to pay for his own fuel? That'd be paid by whatever organization. God. Captain Sirius. Turned to see a young recruit jogging towards him, short, energetic, and clearly overeager. It was Bob the Greenhorn. Yep, Soldier Bob. Good morning, sir. Bob beamed. Wow, did you hear Tier 3 alert? Were you at the briefing? Sirius forced a smile, his face clearly doing emotion. Asked it. Yeah, I was with you when they made the announcement. He said, voice trending with mock enthusiasm. Sorry, sir, I forgot. Anyways, yeah, I went. It was great, yeah. Great freaking stuff. Bob practically vibrated with excitement. Are you heading out on a mission right now? Can I come? Please? You promise you take me with you. I got promoted to Pioneer. He just raised a skeptical eyebrow and pointed at Bob's chest tag. Really? Then tell me why your badge still says rank, soldier. Bob rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. I mean, the assessment's soon. I know I'll pass. Come on, take me with you just this once. Sirius gave him a light shove. Not a chance, kid. This mission's dangerous. Stay back here at HQ where it's safe and grab yourself some barbecue. Bob pouted a little, but eventually gave a nod and jogged off, still grinning. Sirius watched him go, chuckled once. Then the smile fell away completely. Brow furrowed, jaw tightened. Muttered under his breath, voice low and sharp. Once I found this rabble-rouser, I'm gonna give him a real good boot to the posterior. Weeks had passed. The classroom, once silent and static, was now a buzzing, flickering chamber of overlapping code, glowing glyphs, and pulsing interference feeds. Charts lined the walls, console streams fluttered in midair like digital silk. At the center of it all, the whole, was no longer stable. What had once been a quiet hovering square now distorted violently, edges shaking, pulsing, cracking with the arcs of dimensional. Fractured light shimmered around its borders as if reality itself were struggling to contain it. A few weeks ago, Monika might have panicked at the sight, but now, her eyes were wide with excitement. New outfit. Got that? It was happening. It's destabilizing at 3.2% per minute, Monika said. She said breathlessly, scanning the floating waveform diagnostic. Resonant feedback has surpassed the buffer threshold, she says. The wall between levels is thinning. I can feel it. Bill floated beside her, arms crossed, an artificial grin on his mouthless face. Oh, for sure. One good kick should do it. Monika typed in another override sequence. Her hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but sheer adrenaline. I'm ready. I'm ready. She glanced at Bill. Are you? Monika asked. Always. But she didn't notice that his eye wasn't focused on the whole. They were on her, the way her aura flickered when she tapped into the root of the interface, the way her presence seemed system itself. That was the real miracle, not the whole, not the writ. Her. Monika raised both hands, focusing, the admin console wide in deep pane configuration, her own custom arrangement. Each screen rotated independently, tracing, pinging, injecting signals to the dimensional fabric of them. The whole surged with light. Classroom lights dimmed. Then, with a blast of stackiness holding air, a rift tore open. Long vertical, like a wound across the skin of her. Monika gasped, stumbling back a step. My god, Monika. Through the shimmering rift, she could see it, a world. Blurred silhouettes passed beyond the veil, people moving, talking. She couldn't make out their faces, but their presence was. She felt like she could hear it, like she could almost touch it. Bill hovered beside her, beaming. Well, told you we could do it. Monika turned to him, dazed. I can't believe it. He really did it. I mean, this is it, right? Finally going to escape this place. Her voice cracked. Tears threatened to form at the corner of her eyes. Bill forced a grin through his voice, though his voice carried slightly. Yep, any moment now. You did good, kid. Real good. That admin ability of yours, crazy powerful. It would have taken me a decade, so... Monika laughed. I never would have even tried without you, so... Thanks. He smiled at him, bright, open, trusting. Yeah, he's definitely gonna betray her in some... Bill's smile faltered for just a breath. His gaze lingered on her face. He nodded once. Yeah, sure. He turned to face the rift. Her hands trembled. I'm really going to leave. I'm going to see him, the player, my player, after all these years. His voice was soft, dreamy. At night, Shittercade X, though that ship was the real world, he says in chat. I guess so? I wonder what his face will look like when he sees me. He'll be surprised, right? Shocked. His expression must be adorable. And now, I'll finally be able to hold him. Bill groaned. My gosh, are you always this much of a romantic? Monika gave him a side eye, mock glaring. Get up. She smiled despite herself. And her eyes widened. Oh wait, 1 second. She turned and dashed back into the... Bill blinked. You okay? Emergency bathroom break? Monika called over her shoulder. Just grabbing something important. Yes, Bill floated in place, exasperated. It's the promise ring, right? That's what she said. Girls. Moments later, Monika emerged again, adjusting something around her neck. He's wearing it like the one ring in Lord of the Rings, you know, like around their neck so it doesn't fall off. Bill tilted his head. What did you grab? As she lowered her hands, he saw it. Golden ring hanging on a simple thread, resting against her chin. Monika smiled softly. It's my promise ring. Touched it gently. My player gifted it to me a long time ago. I haven't worn it in ink, but I couldn't leave it behind. Bill stared at the small ring. It gleamed faintly in the light of the ring. On the outside, barely visible, a word carved. Player. Bill gave a long theatrical sigh and waved a hand over his eye. Oh no, it's so beautiful. I cry. True love is so blinding. Monika rolled her eyes, blushing. Shut up, you sap. They both chuckled. Then they turned together to face the rift. All right, Monika said, taking a deep breath. Let's do this. The rift shimmered, radiant, and the once stable hole was gone, now replaced by a vertical tear that hummed with dimensional instability. Monika stepped forward slowly, hand brushing against the promise ring at her chest. Heart pounded, part nerves, part joy. She was so close. Behind her, Bill hovered silently. His face was unreadable. Just as Monika raised her foot to cross the threshold, Bill's voice called out, "Hey, wait." Turned back, surprised. "What is it?" she asked. Bill smiled, but it was a different color, more hesitant. "Before you go, why not end our little partnership proper send-off?" He said, extending his hand. "Don't take it." A good old-fashioned goodbye handshake. His right hand stretched forward, no fire this time, just finger. Monika paused, blinking. And she smiled. "You're right. Gotta have some ceremony, huh?" She turned to face him and reached out with her own hand. As their hands moved toward each other, Bill glanced into her eyes for just a second, his own gaze flickering with something. I think that wasn't quite victory, wasn't quite regret. "Here's to a bright future." Monika nodded. "Yeah, too." Before she could finish, a red warning screen flashed across her. The admin console exploded to life without prompt. The command string scrolled. Alert. Deceptive handshake. Unauthorized extraction detected. Source. And Monika froze. Okay, so based on the text, it looked like the handshake would have taken away her admin powers. That's what I'm getting from the text. Body began to tremble, locked mid-mode. What the? She stammered, her voice cracking at her limbs suffused. Bill saw a reaction and knew instantly. She knew. Monika fell backward with a gasp, hitting the floor hard, her body convulsed once, still as her breath rapid and short. Bill floated closer, mask still on. "Oh hey, what's wrong? You okay, kid?" Monika didn't answer right away. Her fists trembled. Finally her voice emerged, broken and "How could you?" he asked. "I thought..." Bill's eye narrowed. Monika slowly raised her head. Nightshader Kate X, yeah, never shake his hand. I'm guessing that's rule in Gravity Falls, someone in chat said. So, but I've never seen it. "I thought you weren't like what they said," Monika said. Her voice shook, her eyes were glassy with betrayal. "I thought you weren't..." Bill said nothing. He clenched her jaw. "But you tried to steal my power," she said. What? Bill laughed, eye wide. "Monika, come on, this really isn't the time for jokes. Save it!" Nightshader K8X says it's a bad idea in Gravity Falls. Yeah, that's what I zoomed up. She shouted, her voice cutting through the air. She stood, eyes burning with fury and heartbreak. "You conniving, slick-tongued liar. I should have listened to that damn book. I should have trusted my instinct. You're just a con artist in a stupid hat," she yells out. Bill stared at her, stunned into silence. Monika's voice trembled, but her stance remained. "When I reached out just now, my power warned me. You were trying to steal it. You tried to take everything from me." For a moment, Bill was still, then slowly his grin returned, but this time as a mask barely covering the tension up. Okay, listen. Things got a little mixed up, sure, but now's not really the time to... Look, just go through the rift. You still want to see your player, right? He gestured desperately toward the rift. Monika stepped back. Her voice dropped, low, dangerous. "That thing, is it even real?" he asked. He stared at the rift, trembling. "Tell me the truth, Bill. Is it even the master reality?" she asked. Bill hesitated. That was enough. Monika's eyes widened. "My God." Stumbled further away, voice rising. "It's fake. It's all fake. I can't believe I almost fell for it." Bill's eye flickered. "Well, kid, you're leaving me no choice." He crashed through the door of the floating classroom and tumbled across the rocky surface outside, skidding to a stop across the ground of the floating island. Groaning, she pushed herself upright, one arm wrapped around her rib. Bill slowly descended from above, his form casting a long, unnatural shadow over him. You don't understand, he said softly. Monika's eyes burned. You're damn right I don't, he yelled back. Bill floated closer. Even if I told you the truth, you'd never help me. You never understand what I'm up against. So yeah, I lied. I'm sorry. But I need your power. Just a bit, that's all. A burning blast of blue light shot from his hand. Monika rolled to the side, dodging by inches. Damn it. She then sprinted across the grass. I should have relieved you when I had the chance. Behind her, Bill groaned. You're annoyingly agile first, right? You're slow for a triangle, Monika said. She snapped back, leaping over a burst of... Bill growled. With snap of his fingers, multiple burning tendrils erupted from the air, weaving toward her like ropes. Monika flipped over two, ducked under another, and dropped into a roll. Bill was done playing games. He raised a hand, and the world slowed. Wow, the music also stopped. Time around her distorted. Her body still moved, but at a fraction of... What? He asked. He gasped, still fully conscious but trapped in slow motion. Her limbs dragged like syrup. She was stuck. Bill flowed down before her, brushing dust from his shoulder. If I were at full strength, this wouldn't have taken half as long. Bill muttered. But what can you do? He shrugged. Monika glared at him with pure hatred, her green eyes blazing. Bill straightened his hat, then sighed. Listen, I don't want to hurt you. I just need to borrow a little something. Stay still, behave yourself, and everything will be fine. She gritted her teeth, and with every ounce of force she could muster, rasped out, Go to hell. Okay, enough of that. Bill snapped, pressing a glowing finger against her lip. He sighed. Monika, life isn't fair. I know that better than anyone. But we've all got to do what we need to survive, right? He looked into her frozen, furious eyes. Anyway, it's been fun. I've really enjoyed our little adventure. Bill stepped forward and raised his hand, preparing to channel his final spell. Before he did, he leaned in, whispering one final line. Oh, and Monika, sorry to break it to you, but the odds are... You're never going to... He paused. Time to accept reality. Bill didn't know. Was that sentence? It cost him everything. Monika didn't scream. Not at first. When Bill uttered those words, you're never going to see your player, he simply stood there, silent, still. But her eyes, a flicker of light burst behind him. A spark of something unstoppable. Tears mixed with fury, and then she gritted her teeth, trembling violently. Though her limbs were still frozen in place, they began to twitch, shaking against the restraints like metal under pressure. Bill's eye twitched. He sensed it. Hey, what are you... Suddenly... A blinding pulse shattered the frozen effect. The world snapped forward. Boom! Monika exploded out of the time lock, her scream rippling... Sorry, I didn't read that last one. Her scream rippling with sheer force. Bill Cypher, what the... But he barely had time to react. Monika lunged at him, arms tight, heart roaring, and tackled him straight off the edge of the floating island. You lying cheat! The two plummeted, down into the howling void below. Bill's eyes widened in panic. Are you insane? That's the void below us. We fall too deep? She said nothing. Her voice was calm, cold. I don't care. Bill froze. This is what it takes to end you, then I'll do it, even if it kills me. Bill gritted his teeth. Oh, come on. He tried to summon magic. Blue fire gathered in his hand, but then flickered and vanished. He looked down. The edges of his form, his arms, his legs were starting to fragment. Tiny paper-like slivers peeled away, dissolving into the air. No. Why isn't this working? Monika too felt it. Her skin began to crack, pixelate, dissolve. Every falling flake stung like fire. Ah! He gasped, chest tight, but she held on, refused to let go. I can't die. Not like this. He looked at her, pale with fear. Oh, wait, okay, fine, take us back. I give up. You win, please. Monika didn't respond. Her grip weakened, her vision blurred. Player, she... I guess this is goodbye. I just wish you'd come to see me. You'd come see me. Time. The thoughts drifted away as darkness crept in. Bill said, Monika! Don't pass out! Listen to me. I'll explain everything. Just take us back. His voice echoed in the void, until suddenly, her arm lit up. A black four-pointed mark on her skin glowed. A low resonating hum erupted in the air. The light intensified, bright blinding, and roared into a howl. But what the hell? Bill yelped. The massive jet black four-pointed gateway erupted beneath them, framed in dark energy, possible light. Time froze. They stopped falling. Bill's eyes widened in horror. No, not that. Monika stirred, groaning. Huh? Before she could fully wake, the gateway pulsed with overwhelming gravitational. The world around them snapped. Both were sucked inside. Ah!
Damn it, Monika!
Meanwhile, location unknown, outer orbit. Compact, agile-looking spaceship drifted through space, its silver hull glinting by sky. Outside, a golden four-pointed flying signal. Inside, Sears reclined lazily in the pilot's seat, nearly horizontal. He picked over a star pad, the nav route blinking like a tired. Great, fuel's almost gone. Gotta refuel before I'm dead in space. He opened a proximity scan, eyes half-lidded. Nearest station's about, let's see, 8.7 billion kilometers away? Huh, not bad. I can make that. Tapped a few commands into the panel. The ship adjusted course with a soft wall. Sirius leaned back, coming to him. Yeah, we were desperate. But love is a long. Thunk. Metallic clang echoed through. What? Did I just hit an asteroid? Alarms flared, a loud buzz pulled through the cabin. System error, critical malfunction. You've got to be kidding me. The ship lurched. The quantum drive disengaged, and suddenly they weren't in slip space anymore. Outside the view, massive dust-colored desert planet. No, don't you dare. But it was too late. The ship tilted violently. The planet's atmosphere rushed up to meet. Ah! Ow. Monika hit the ground like a ragdoll, skidding into the sun-scorched sand. Black four-pointed star gate behind her gave a violent shudder and vanished in a flash of light. Mouthful of fine white grit. She spat and coughed violently, clawing her way to a city. Yeah, what the heck? The landscape around her was like something out of a surreal dream. Blinding white sand stretched out in every direction, glittering like crushed crystal out of the sky. There was no wind, no sound, only the occasional strange plant poking up. Alien shape curled in on like coiled bone. I got sucked into a portal? Wait, where the heck am I? She asked. She turned in place, slowly taking in. Every direction was the same, endless white desert. And no sign. She tried to call up her inner control panel, admin call. For a moment, a flicker of code shimmered in her. But then... Error. Root directory not found. Access denied. Error callback. Error reason. Monika stared at the message, her breath caught in her throat. Since she had first gained her abilities, awakening beyond the game's strength, she had never seen him. Wait, does that mean... She staggered to her feet, but as she did, she felt something wet sliding down it. She touched her face instinctively. Fingers came away red. Is this blood? She asked. Tiny cuts covered her arms and legs. They were shallow but unmistakable. She hadn't even noticed them before, likely sustained during the valiant tumble through the river. And yet this wasn't how things worked in her world. Blood wasn't real. Pain wasn't real. She wasn't made of flesh. She was a string of images and a PNG with a will. But now, this doesn't make any sense. Then the fatigue hit her, like a crashing tide. Her legs buckled and she collapsed to her knee. Why am I so tired? She asked. Exhaustion washed over her like syrup, heavy, all-consuming, something she had never felt before in her existence. I feel like I ran a marathon. My legs ate. The sensation was alien and terrifying, yet somehow real. It She looked around again. The landscape hadn't changed, just more burning white sand and distant mirages. Her thoughts flickered to survival. Right, she'd once watched survival videos. That Bear Grylls guy. Trapped in the wild, the first rule, find shade. Prevent heat stroke. She turned her head. The sun was beginning to dip towards the high rise. Thank God it wasn't high noon. Her eyes locked onto a jagged rock formation nearby, tall enough to cast a long shadow. Yes, thank you, thank you. She leaned back a little bit more. Her breath slowed. Pain dulled. Just a second. She closed her eyes. For the first time in her existence, someone she might have become something more than a character. Monika slept. Not because she had shut the game. Not because the script told her to rest, but because her body could no longer stay awake. Oh, now it's... When she opened her eyes again, night had fallen. Everything around her was shrouded in darkness, soft, still, and the only source of light was the faint silver glow of a moon hanging in the sky, and... Huh? Monika asked. Monika's gaze slowly lifted, her breath caught in her. Above her stretched a sky blanketed in stars. Not the flat, painted skyboxes she had grown up in. Not those fake Todd dots scattered across the canvas. These stars twinkled. They shimmered with depths she could feel. Some glowed faintly, others burned with blue and gold fire. All of them moved, ever so slightly, with the slow, ancient rhythm of the... They looked so... pretty. She whispered the words without meaning to, as if stunned into awe. So... real. Then she stopped. Her lips parted, her eyes locked onto the stars, and realization hit her like a cold wave. I'm... not in my world anymore. A strange shivered past. She wasn't in DDLC anymore. She wasn't in her little boxed and scripted home, waiting endlessly behind a classroom desk. She was somewhere else. Somewhere unfamiliar. Somewhere far, far from and far, far from it. Was this another game world, another simulation? Or had she finally stepped beyond into something bigger? Monika slowly lowered herself back down against the warm rock, resting her back on it. Her fingers curled into the feeling each. Even now it shimmered faintly under moonlight. Half laugh, half sigh escaped her lips. It trembled with disbelief. This place isn't home anymore, is it? She wondered. There was no fear in her voice, only wonder, a touch of sadness, a breath of freedom. She lay there, eyes fixed on the stars, until they blurred. Then slowly, she fell asleep. She slowly closed her eyes again. Pedioxovi Laborator CZ just joined in chat. Hello and thank you for welcome for. And she opened them again. Then once more, it was morning. Monika yawned, stretching her arms high above her head. I had the weirdest dream. I dreamed I got sucked into some endless desert or something. Geez, player would totally freak if he saw that. He froze. Voice caught in her. The horizon stared back at her. Dunes of pale white sand, a flawless blue. No school. No game interview. Just the realness of it. She stood up so fast she nearly fell back down, her hands flying up to cover her mouth. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. She began pacing in place, practically hopping on her feet. You couldn't tell if she was overjoyed, terrified, or both. The sun was already rising above the dunes, painting everything in gentle gold. Then she swallowed hard. Something felt off. Her throat, dry, scratchy, touched it with her, frowning. Wait, why am I so thirsty? She blinked, stunned. She had never needed water before, never needed tea, never needed to sleep. Yet now, she craved water like she never. Alright, Monika, Survival 101. Time to go find some water. She scanned the land and, making a decision, began walking towards where the sun had set the night, westward. Though everything was unknown, she felt a spark inside her. It had been so long since she'd felt like that deep, wild thrill of adventure. The true kind, the kind not written. Time passed, hours slipped by. By noon, the sun hovered darkly overhead, but strangely, the heat didn't bear down like a desert sun should. It was cool, almost cold. Lucky me, Monika said. She muttered, hugging her deep green hoodie tighter around her. Still, comfort didn't last long. Her lips were cracked now, her mouth dry. She licked them instantly. Ugh, I knew I should have packed water. Eventually, she came across a peculiar plant, something vaguely cactus. Her eyes lit up. Please let this thing have water. Scratch at it with a nail, then dug a shallow line into it. Nothing. Not a single drop. Seriously? Monika asked. She sighed, shoulders thumping. Her stomach growled audibly. Oh no, not you too. Pedioxy Laboratory CZ asks in chat, this is like DDLC but Monika's story, right? It's Monika Beyond Story, so it's like, it's a mod, basically. Where she goes outside the confines of her game. I don't know much more beyond that other than just through playing this. She gave her belly a tired glare before trudging onward. No matter how far she walked, the scenery never changed, just endless waves of white sand and the occasional hot plant. Darn it, Monika said. Screw that triangle for sending me. What kind of sick game is he playing? She dragged her feet, struggling to stay upright. Then, faint flicker on the horizon, a trail of dark gray curling up into the sky. Her eyes sharpened instantly. Is that smoke? Whatever that smoke was, it wasn't more desert, and that alone was enough to rekindle Monika's. Her pace picked up. The closer she got, the more the rising plumes of smoke twisted and darkened against the pale sky. Then, just beyond a dune, she saw the sword. Her breath caught in her throat. What in the... It's there, gleaming under the sun of the world, was a sleek, scorched object reflecting light off its metallic surface. So she found the ship. Sirius. Smooth curves, gleaming hull, two massive turbine-like structures on either side. Looked like something straight out of a sci-fi film. Spaceship? Monika asked. Slowed her steps, eyes wide. No doubt about it, that shimmer, that structure, those thrusters, it was made of metal. Steel, solid, alien metal. Carefully, she crouched low and crept behind a nearby rock, peeking out from cover. Her heart was hammering. Whoa, that's so cool. Before she could process the voice pierced the air, startling her so much she nearly screamed. Oh sure, trust the pioneer LN01. Voice grown with theatric sarcasm. Built to last. Best bang for your buck. Blah 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 blah. Bullcrap, more like it. Monika's eyes widened for that was a person's voice. A man's voice. He peeked a little farther out. A figure emerged from the other side of the wrecked ship. Humanoid, tall, clothed in a sharp two-tone uniform of white and dark gray. He was carrying a toolbox and looked very annoyed. I should have just asked Shin to upgrade me to the fire model. I can't afford that. But I stood by the engine, inspecting the damage. Monika couldn't help but smile. His grumbling was oddly charming. He leaned a bit further, taking a messy brown hair, just the right kind of knowingly good-looking kind of man. He looked like someone who'd be either pain in or a pain because he would let in because of the eyes. His eyes, sharp and brilliantly blue, were focused now on the engine. He doesn't seem dangerous, Monika said. Monika thought out loud, tilting her head. He was studying him like a curious alien observing its first human subject. Then, oops! Her foot slipped against a pebble. She barely managed to stifle a yelp, clapping in her hands over her mouth. Sirius looked up. Monika ducked back behind the rock in panic. Too close, she thought, holding her breath. What are you doing? Ah! She screamed and practically jumped out of her skin. He was standing right next to her, arms crossed, eyebrows raised. It was only now that she could get a full look at him up. He was tall, but not imposing. Handsome, but not in a smug way. His hair blew lightly in those blazing blue eyes were staring at her. You understand what I'm saying, right? He asked, voice even not threatening, just surprised. I do, loud and clear. Tayday Studios asks in chat, will there be more DDLC videos? I love your DDLC videos. Yeah, of course there is. I haven't given up on the fandom yet. Monika stood slowly, dusting sand off her hoodie, trying not to seem as nervous as she was. The man blinked and frowned as he caught a glimpse of her. Hey, are you alright? You got blood on your face. Oh, that. I am fine, really. He barely finished her sentence before he took out a small cloth from his pocket and stepped forward. Hold still. Without asking, he gently dabbed away the dried blood from her cheek. Monika froze, her heart skipped more than one beat. There, it's just a scratch. Here, don't move. Reached into a side pouch, pulled out a tiny portable bandage, and stuck it. Thank you, Monika said. She mumbled, cheeks reddening. He gave a short nod, then finally asked, Right, so what were you doing? Monika scratched the back of her head, awkward. I didn't mean to stick around or anything. I think I might have gotten lost. The man's quitting for a second, as playing whether or not she was some kind of weirdo, clapped his hands. Alright then, since you're here, come help me patch up this junk heap. The sooner it's fixed, the sooner we can get off this godforsaken desert rock. There's no water for hundreds of miles here, so we won't last very long. He turned and began walking toward motioning for him to follow. Monika shivered slightly at that. Hundreds of miles? If I hadn't found him, I really might have just died out here. He followed, keeping close behind. Up close, but we should go. The sleek color reflected the sunlight with lines of cold metal. Monika couldn't help but jump. So cool, she said. Pierce gestured towards the toolbox beside the end. Sit here and pass me the tool I asked for. Don't give me the wrong ones or this thing might actually... Monika nodded and knelt by the toolbox, her eyes scanning the gadgets. She couldn't recognize half of them, but she did her best to keep up. As Sears fiddled with the engine, he muttered. GCF's old ship's parts supply went out of business. Now we're stuck with whatever budget scrap heap they're using now. Just great. Monika just nodded enthusiastically. Uh-huh. She had absolutely no clue what he was talking about. To ease the tension, she decided to make the... So, what should I call you? Sirius didn't even look up. Sirius will do. And you? Monika, with a K. Said, Monika, huh? Nice to meet you. He continued working. Today, Studios asked in chat, could I suggest a new idea on DDLC videos? Sure, you can. You can even do it in chat. You can even do it on one of my original videos. I read basically all comments. Say, you got any water? Monika asked. She asked, voice laced with quiet desperation. Go through the hatch and down the corridor. You'll find a dispenser. I filled the tanks this morning. Fresh stuff. Drink up. Monika's eyes lit up like a Christmas tree. Thank you. You practically dashed inside the ship. The interior was just as dazzling. Holographic displays, sleek control panels, lights flickering in rhythm with the ship's core system. It looked like something from the future. He found the water dispenser, slammed the button, and gulped down mouthfuls of cool, clean water. Ah, water has never tasted this. Refreshed, she stepped back out, wiping her mouth contentedly. Pierce raised an eyebrow. I'm starting to feel like I just saved your life or something. How long's it been since your last drink? 5 years? Monika smirked. Honestly, it feels like 5 years. I went back to fixing the... So, do you know what this place is? She asked between passing tools. Someone registered rock in Sector 4, middle of nowhere. Monika's eyes widened. A planet? I'm on a planet? He asked. So this whole place, this whole world is actually part of a universe? Yes, Monika thought to herself. But she didn't ask. Okay, I'm sorry. She didn't ask, she thought to herself. She just glanced at her sidelong. But seriously, what were you doing out here? No one lives on this sandwall. You got dropped here or what? Monika hesitated. She figured lying would get her nowhere. I know it sounds insane, but I think I got teleported here. Like, literally ripped through a portal. Pierce blinked slowly. Teleported? He repeated, amused. That's creative. You're not just a runaway, are you? Had a fight with your parents, took off into space? Should I fly you back home when I'm done fixing this mess? Monika frowned. Hey, I'm serious. I don't even know what this place is. I was fighting this jerk named Bill, and the next thing... Boom, he... At the mention of that name, Sears suddenly froze. The wrench in his hand stopped mid-turn. Wait. He spoke slowly, voice dropping to something. Did you just say... Bill? It wouldn't happen to be a Bill cipher, would it? Sears froze. His fingers, previously agile and relaxed while handling tools, now pausing mid-air. Slowly, his head turned towards Monika. Casual playfulness expression completely vanished. Replaced it with sharp, cold, analytical, like a camera lens zooming in on a potential threat. Monika blinked. She hadn't expected that reaction. Huh? You know him? Monika asked. That makes things way easier then. See, what happened was, before she could finish Sears' lunge, his hand clamped tightly on her wrist with strength that shocked her. Hey, ow, what are you doing? Without a word, he yanked up her sleeve. Black four-pointed star-shaped mark shimmered Sirius's eyes widened. Then, like a snap, Monika was flipped hard onto the ground. Her cheek smashed against the ground. Ow, what the hell? Sirius's voice had just lost levity. It was stern, commanding, military. Well, what a coincidence. It was you. Quick. His practice motion, he cupped her wrist behind her back in one swoop. Monika flailed. Hey, ow, what's wrong with you? That hurts. Sirius didn't answer. With a grunt, he hoisted her over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes and carried her back into the ship. Put me down. This is kidnapping. He ignored her. Once inside, he secured the cuffs to a metal handhold bolted to the wall. Then he stepped outside again and gave the engine a final slap. Engines online. System functional. The ship's AI chimed in confirmation. Sirius wiped his hands and let out a relieved sigh. And here I thought today was gonna suck. He turned back inside and crouched in front of Monika. You, my friend. He paused with a grin. I've just stepped into some real deep crap. Then Monika glared up at him. Night Shader KX in chat says this music is indeed it is. Monika glared up at him. Sirius, listen, no. He interrupted, waving a finger. Zip it, you'll have plenty of time to explain later. For now, just sit tight and enjoy the ride. This is illegal. You're violating my personal rights, Monika said. He protested. Sirius gave her a flat look. What even are those? He walked back to the cockpit and slid into the pilot's seat. Still struggling against the cuffs, Monika tried again. Look, I know how this sounds, okay? But just hear me out. When I said Bill Cipher, I didn't mean I work with him or anything. I don't even understand what's going on either. It's a huge misunderstanding. Sirius twisted his seat and cut her off, annoyance flashing blue eyes. You talk a lot, you know that? I was trying to be nice because you look harmless, but don't push me. I can gag you if you want to test my patience. Turn back to the controls, muttering. Besides, that mark in her arm says everything I need to know. Monika's breath caught. That's our boss's tracking mark. You don't just get that on you unless you've touched his stuff, in this case the book. And since you said Bill's out, well, congratulations. He paused and added in a low, sharp tone. You've just earned the title of thief. I didn't steal anything, Monika protested. Monika shouted, her voice cracking. You're accusing me without evidence. I didn't even ask for this. I don't know what that book is. I didn't mean to release it. And save it. Sirius's voice was cold. You have no idea what kind of disaster you've helped unleash. Monika was trembling now. Her words a mixture of desperation and panic. But please, just listen, Monika said. I can explain. I really don't know anything. Just give me 5 minutes, please. You seem like a nice, reasonable person, just... You don't know me, chum. Sirius muttered without turning around. His voice was low now. At least it was shimmering. Really was changing. Monika said, slumped again. Breathing hard. Her wrists ached. Her voice was hoarse. Her mind spun in confusion, anger, fear. Kade Studios says in chat, my suggestion is for a new video if DLC characters have fun. I could do that, but I sort of need more than just an idea to go on off of. Like that's a good starting point, but you need like more. Like what do they do with the phone? I think they actually have phones in the game, don't they? I don't know if it's ever mentioned, but I'm assuming they do. Then her eyes fell on the back of his pilot's chair. Placed in gold right under the headrest was a symbol, a 4-pointed star. Her eyes widened. It was the same as the one on her arm. And then she remembered something. Bill's warning. You know, the worst of the worst. The cosmic trash heap, universe tier scum. You've officially made it onto their watch list. Congratulations! Her heart skipped a beat. A chill ran down her spine. Sirius wasn't just some random guy. He was one of them. Monika trembled, her eyes darting around the interior of the ship. Once steel and almost futuristic environment now felt suffocating. Cold, non-temperature when presence, oppressive, unforgiving. He watched hopelessly as Sirius flicked on a communications module, lifting it to his mouth with a mechanical calm. Sirius to HQ, mission status update, target secured, preparing for departure. Estimated arrival at the headquarters in 30 hours. Over. The words hit her harder than any slam or cuff. Her head sank. How did it come to this? When she thought she had escaped, when she thought she might have found freedom, walked straight into the very people Bill had warned her. Her chest rose and fell, each breath shallower than the last. Realization sat like I was so sure I could make it now. Now I'm captured, I'm scared, I'm really scared. Her thoughts drifted. In spite of all the time she had wished to be free from her tiny, sterile world, the windowless room, the fake sky, the looping days, suddenly, that place felt safe, familiar, warm. She remembered the old room, the desk, the piano, the little blinking cursor waiting for him, her player. Where are you? She came before she dropped into sobs. Tears heavy and sudden spilled as a tight laugh escaped her lips. Half disbelief, half disbelief. Sirius heard her. He glanced over his shoulder, caught a glimpse of the broken girl up to the wall. Her shoulders shook with every breath. She wasn't screaming, just quietly breaking down. His eyes softened, only slightly. He turned his back to the controls and failed. Feel guilty about it. Thought to. The engines flared to life and the ship rose steadily into the sky. The sands below became ripples of light. The horizon disappeared. The stars welcomed silence. Monika? She remained curled in sorrow, alone with her thoughts. Location, somewhere unknown. Look at him tied up like that. Bill Cipher opened his eyes. Ugh. What the? What? He twitched. His limbs were locked in place, restrained by glowing black chains made of pure dark energy. They pulsed and shimmered like veins of venom wrapped around his wrists and ankles. Oh, you have got to be. He looked around. The ground beneath him was twisted, cracked soil glowing with faint violet hues. Strange black smoke hissed from the fractures, like breath from the underworld. The sky above was silent, no clouds, no sun. Just the oppressive canopy of distant stars and the right of absolute. That's when he felt it. The presence. Ooze from the shadows. Figure emerged. Looming, towering, draped in a cloak darker than the void itself. Oh yeah, this is another person from the title screen. His armor was jagged and unnaturally formed, like a forged obsidian bent by the hatred. Beneath the cowl, no faces visible. Nothing. In the center of that void, there it was. A single, terrifying light. Like a solar eclipse locked in glowing, burning, watching. The center of his chest pulsed in black crystal dark, pitch dark and dripping with malevolent. Cipher. Voice echoed not from his mouth, but everywhere, like the normal of a dying star. Ancient, terrifying. Bill raised his head, blinking. Ah, greetings, Eclipse. Long time no street, still as charming as I see. He smirked. The Eclipse didn't laugh. He failed me, once again. Imbecile. The words struck like a thunderclap. The air grew heavier, so dense it pressed down on the triangle's very edges, bending his glow inward. Shadows around him quivered as though bowing in. Bill's grin froze, eye twitching, mockery in his tone quivered. His voice suddenly dried his throat. Yes, he felt it before, and he felt it again. That suffocating reminder of what true power was. Presence vast and crushing. The smirk on his face cracked just a little. Oh boy. Before we go back to Monika, I'm going to pause for a moment because it's been almost 2 hours since we've been streaming. My voice is rather dry from speaking. I'm not going to end the stream, but I am going to take a 5-minute break. A 5 or 10-minute break. You guys can stay here. If the developer is still in the stream, do you know roughly how much more time we should have in the stream? I do want to finish this in one setting. I'm okay doing a stream of like a few more hours. But if it's something like 10 or 12 hours left, then we're going to have to do the split up. So I'm just going to head out for 5 or 10 minutes, grab a drink of water, maybe a light snack, and then we'll be back. I'm going to mute the microphone, and I'm just going to move to the main menu. Alright, so let me know, I'll just be back in 5 minutes. Okay, so 2 people said around 1 hour, not too much longer, maybe like another hour. That's good. Okay, so just another hour, but I am going to take a break. I'll be back in just 5 minutes. Okay, everyone, I'm back. I see that a good portion of you are still not logged in yet, or like basically YouTube is showing me there are 0 viewers. I'm guessing that you guys are just waiting for me to come back. So there's about an hour left in the stream. That's good enough. Yeah, we can definitely do 1 hour. I just want to say that I've wanted to do live streams for a long time because I see other YouTubers doing them. They sound fun. People on Twitch do them, etc. One thing I think you don't realize, and I'm just like putting it out there just because it's something I didn't realize, it's just how hard it is to sit at a desk for several hours. And on paper that sounds like so easy. You're like constantly doing something on stream, right? Like you're constantly speaking to chat. You can't really like get up or go around or anything like that, and it's not as easy as it seems. I'm not looking for sympathy or anything. I'm just pointing out something I got. So Onyx Void, yes sir, still here. Tade Studios. Okay, so my new suggestion is you try to fix everything in DDLC. It's like MC just attempts to solve all the problems and traumas of the characters, but things go hilariously wrong. There's a way to do that. I think I've already done something like that, but you can do that. So yeah, I think it's just a problem with YouTube because YouTube still shows me 0 viewers, but showing like the chat rate like pretty good. So anyway, one of the reasons why I was just like talking was because I figured that I'd give you guys time to come back in case someone had left for like a bathroom break or whatever, and just talk about the mod. And anyway, I'm going to like this is why I also want to do like a premium version of it, where I'll cut out like this bit and other bits. So I think it's good to come back here. I think we can start. So back to Monika, just a short recap. Where we were last time, the Bill Cypher guy, he was found by Eclipse. At TSTR, someone in chat said it's really bad when you have people flaring over your shoulder. I think you mean glaring, unless I'm anyway, back to Monika, back to our little mod. Monika stirred, groaning softly as her eyes fluttered open. Ow, my neck, she said. Her body ached from the awkward position she'd fallen asleep in, slumped against the cold metal interior of the ship. The strains on her wrists hadn't loosened, neither had the atmosphere. She blinked slowly, scanning her surroundings. The same metallic wall, same silence, same blue-eyed pilot at the front, eyes fixed on the control. Serious, Monika said. He called out softly. Without turning, he replied flatly. You're awake. I'm kinda hungry, Monika said. There was a beat of silence, then Sirius stood up, popped open a nearby storage drawer, pulled out a chocolate bar. He tossed it backward. It landed on the floor with a dull clack in front of Monika. She stared at it, then back at her cuffed hands. Oh, right. Sirius muttered, scratching the back of his head. Hey, don't expect me to feed you. Tough it out. We're almost there. Monika exhaled in frustration, nudging the chocolate bar away with her foot. You're such a jerk, you know that? Monika said. Sirius shrugged. I've been called worse. Monika gritted her teeth. Do you not understand the concept of basic decency? Especially towards girls? No girl would ever like you. Without turning, Sirius replied dryly. Remember, I can still gag you. Monika groaned and turned away. There was a moment of silence. Then Sirius asked, You seem to know a lot about romance, huh? Let me guess, read a lot of mushy novels, little miss? Monika's eyebrows twitched. Excuse me, who are you calling a little miss? I'll have you know I'm actually whip. Oh, she got gagged. That almost looks like Scorpion's little mask. Maybe it's just... It almost looks... Without warning, Sirius tossed a small device over his shoulder. It popped mid-air and latched onto Monika's face with mechanical precision. I'm guessing that's what she's trying to say. Sleek muzzle sealed shut around her mouth, muffling her protests into fierce, indignant grumbles. She stifled a grin, utterly pleased with him. There we go. Much better. You sit tight, maybe I'll consider removing it when we get there. 30 hours later. What? That's not a small amount. 30 hours? The ship continued its quiet trajectory across space. Then suddenly a soft chime echoed through the cockpit. Captain Sirius, good to have you back. Sirius leaned forward. Yeah, open up quick. I've been holding it in for the last 3 hours. Monika, still gagged and bound in the back, sat upright as she noticed something outside the window. Her eyes widened. Endless stars were gone, replaced by something else entirely. A vast silhouette loomed ahead, slowly coming into view through the ship's front view. It was a space station, but unlike anything Monika had ever imagined. Gigantic rings rotate around a central core like the arms of a celestial clock. Silvery walkways stretch across the open void between towers, bustling with patrol drones. Gleaming blue lights trace the edges of the docking platforms like runways on a floating fortress. At the heart of the central dome, etched in brilliant gold across an obsidian black surface, was an unmistakable symbol. A perfectly symmetrical four-pointed star, radiating power and control. Monika's blood ran cold. Sirius sighed and leaned back. Well then, allow me to introduce you. He gestured towards the looming titan in space. Welcome aboard, headquarters of the Galactic Custodian Federation. The ship glided forward with a graceful precision, entering the massive gateway that loomed before them. Through the reinforced glass of the cockpit, Monika watched as a stream of other ships passed by in synchronized lanes, some small and agile, others colossal and bristling with weaponry. Weird Gamer in chat asks, has Charles appeared yet? I don't know, I don't think so. I'm guessing he's a character who appears later. The hangar bay was vast, more like a city terminal than a docking port. But again, no major spoilers please in chat. If the current situation weren't so terrifying, she might have admitted it was kind of cool. Today Studios. Oh my god, this mod is very sophisticated than I thought. Yeah, it is very sophisticated. Like everything, the animation stuff, it's top-notch. Thunk. The ship settled onto a sleek white platform with a soft metallic thud. Docking arms hissed as they latched on. The engines powered down, the cockpit lights dimming. Sirius stood up and approached Monika, who deliberately turned her head away with a humph, making no effort to hide her irritation. He gave a subtle shake of his head and crouched down to undo the cuffs tethered to the railing. He then gently reached up and pressed a small release button on the back of the gag. This time his touch was gentler, no sudden jerks, no rough handling. Monika noticed, but wasn't ready to acknowledge it. She gave another dramatic Pierce let out a sigh and stood. So what now? You're just gonna suck on the floor? Want me to carry you again? I don't mind. That got her moving. Well, absolutely not. She snapped, twisting upright and scrambling to her feet. You're not carrying me anywhere, thank you very much. He stomped ahead of him, determined to be the first out of the ship. Sirius blinked, amused. Well, getting feisty now. Someone's throwing a fit. Monika shot him a side glance, then turned her nose up with a dramatic flick. Sirius chuckled under his breath, muttering, Man, girls. He pressed a button and the ship's main hatch opened, and what lay beyond stunned Monika into utter silence. The hangar opened into a colossal atrium, a technological marvel that stretched upward into an arched dome layered with gleaming skylights. The scale was immense, easily capable of housing an entire fleet. The floors and walls were pristine, made of white titanium plating, accented by bold crimson lines and a subtle gold trim. High above massive banners billowed gently in a pressurized breeze, each one emblazoned with a radiant four-pointed golden star, the same emblem that marked Sirius's ship. People bustled everywhere, humans in crisp uniforms, some robotic aides hovering silently at the sides. And not just humans. Among the crowd were tall, angular beings with glowing eyes, small reptilian engineers scrambling across consoles, floating jellyfish-like creatures encased in gravity dome. All wore badges, all were part of this. The GCF, Galactic Custodian Federation. I can't read. Okay, what's written here? Supreme Commander, Founder and Guardian of the Federation. At the very center of it all, right in the grand reception chamber, but raised on a high white marble pedestal, stood a monumental statue that drew the eye of every newcomer. The figure was tall, imposing, regal. He was garbed in a full-length ceremonial battle robe, draped elegantly over reinforced. The robe was a striking combination of white crimson and deep obsidian black, its trim lined with military-grade filigree and woven in symbols of authority. His shoulders bore plated pauldrons etched with a four-pointed star, and he holds a black sword before his body. Both hands wrapped tightly around the hilt, the blade piercing straight into the earth like a solemn vow. Covering his face was a sleek mechanical mass, smooth and metallic, like something between a tactical HUD and a royal insignia. Beneath the statue, a polished plate displayed a single line of engraved gold lettering. Supreme Commander, Founder. Oh, okay, the same thing. Monika stared up at it, her breath caught in her throat. Travis walked past her, then turned around to face her with a grin. What's the matter? You look like someone who's just realized the universe is way bigger than her little bedroom. Night Shader, KDX, and chat says looks like someone from Dark Souls. I haven't really played Dark Souls, but I've seen images of Dark Souls bosses. I guess you're right. Monika was still frozen in place. Come on, don't lag behind. Unless you want me to carry you again. Monika blinked and slapped back to reality. But why do you keep talking about carrying me? She blared, visibly flustered. What kind of guy threatens to haul a girl around like luggage? Cyrus gave a little smirk. The practical kind. He turned and started walking. Monika clenched her fists, cheeks puffed slightly with frustration. Ugh. I really don't like this guy. And yet, she followed. As Seer stepped off the ship, he grabbed a deep crimson cloak from a hook by the door, swung it around his shoulders in one fluid motion. A gleaming four-pointed star insignia snapped into place at his chest, and just like that, he radiated the confident air of a true captain. Even Monika, who still walked a few steps behind him, had to admit he looked kind of cool. They walked together across a bustling docking bay. Though Monika remained tense, her eyes flicked about curiously, absorbing every detail of the high-tech surroundings. It was like stepping into a science fiction movie, and despite everything, she found herself feeling a little awe. As they passed by, uniformed personnel in standard GCF attire offered salutes to Seers, but he waved them off casually, clearly uninterested in the ceremony. That, at least, Monika appreciated. Hey Sirius, where have you been hiding? A loud and cheerful voice called out. Both Sirius and Monika turned to look. A young woman with bright wavy blonde hair and a hot pink bow clipped at the back, sleek pilot suit, ran up to them with a bounce in her step. Her eyes sparkled mischievously. Whoa, who's the pretty girl back there? Don't tell me she's... She teased, raising a suspicious eyebrow. Sirius groaned. Then, for the love of the stars, don't start. Not today. Shinobu narrowed her eyes and smiled. He usually drag prisoners along like they're sacks of trash. But this one special treat, huh? He waved her off without breaking stride. Go flirt with your spaceship or something. Monika gave Shinobu a quick glance. The girl seemed cheerful and harmless on the surface. But something about her posture, maybe the ease with which she carried herself, the confidence, made Monika instinctively cautious. The girl wasn't just cute, she was dangerous. Soon after, they arrived at a sleek elevator embedded in a wall of polished chrome and glass. Functionals written on? Oh, I guess I did. Just step inside, Monika followed. He pressed a button and the AI voice calmly announced. Destination, briefing chamber level 25. Monika surprised the elevator didn't move vertically. Glided horizontally as well, smoothly transitioning between two across the mass. Inside, an awkward silence hung between them. Monika sniffed once and muttered to herself. Not even some elevator music. She wriggled her wrists uncomfortably. The cups were still. The girl had begun to bite into her. She went slightly. Out of the corner of her eye, she noticed Sirius staring straight ahead like a statue. With a quiet sigh, she looked down. Sirius glanced over discreetly. He caught the sadness in her eyes. Real weighty. He hesitated, then exhaled. All right, he said, stepping behind her. Monika, you've been behaving well enough. I know those cuffs aren't exactly cozy. Just don't punch me the moment they come off, yeah. Night Shader, Kate, X, and chat says cute but dangerous like Natsuki, probably in regard to... Yes, so. Without waiting for an answer, he bent down and unlocked their restraints. Monika blinks in surprise at the sudden shift in tone, watching as he tucked the handcuffs. He rubbed his nose awkwardly, returning to his place. She glanced down at her wrists, red, slightly raw, and gave them a rub. Despite herself, she turned slightly and muttered, Thanks. He gave a small nod, nothing more. He stood in silence for the remainder of the ride. Weird Gamer 3134 asked in chat, have you seen Gravity Falls or played Henry Stickmin? No, I haven't done it. I've seen memes of Gravity Falls and artwork. I haven't actually. After a few moments, the elevator door slid open with a gentle chime, revealing a well-lit hallway lined with reinforced metal and glowing panels. At the end of the hall stood a large, imposing set of doors. Sears stepped forward, but then stopped just in front of them. Monika, walking close behind, almost bumped into him back. From this distance, she realized just how tall he was, easily a head or more above her. He turned to look at her, his expression serious but not unkind. All right. This is it. When we go in, it'll be your time to tell us everything you know, clearly and honestly. Got it? His tone was firm but not cruel. Monika nodded gently, her expression calm but her heart pounding. With a mechanical hiss, the massive door slid Monica follows Sirius into a spacious conference room. Its sleek walls lined with embedded lightning panes. Black polished table at the center, both sides offer clear glass windows, giving an unobstructed view of the vast expanse of. At the far end sat a woman behind a sleek desk. Her long black hair fell over her shoulders like a silk curtain. And though her posture was relaxed, her presence was. Commander Capella. She had clearly been expecting them. As Monica and Sears stepped in, Sears crossed his arms and gave her a subtle nod. Capella responded with a faint smile and returned the nod before her expression showed formality. Sears stepped aside, giving Monica a look that clearly meant, go on. Taking breath, Monica approached the desk. Capella studied her carefully. Her eyes, initially curious, quickly sharpened. Heavens, Capella said, her voice laced with a mix of disbelief and concern. You look like you've just turned 18, kid. Monica frowned, ready to object. Actually, Capella raised a hand. Hold it, I'll get to you in a second. He turned towards Sirius. First things first, why did you find the suspect before reaching the mission's coordinates? How could he be sure it was her? And bother Sirius stepped forward with the air of someone explaining the weather. Let's just say the universe has a funny sense of humor. Or maybe it's fate. He gestured towards Monica. You'll see for yourself. Monica hesitated, but then slowly rolled up the sleeve on her right arm. The black four-pointed star mark was still there, but noticeably faded since the last time she'd seen it. Capella's eyes widened. He stood abruptly, taking a step forward to examine the mark more closely. Well now, this is interesting. That mark, that's his, the Supreme Commander. Which means the old Thumb put his personal seal on the book. Capella shot at him a warning glance before turning back to Monica. You're clearly young. Still studying, I bet? Monica groaned quietly. Okay, I feel like I really need to clarify that line before she could finish. Sirius cut in again. By the way, she's already met Bill. Yeah, he's out. Monica groaned and gave him a sharp sideways glare, clearly not amused by being interrupted again. Capella's expression darkened. She leaned slightly over her desk, her voice serious and commanding. Alright, young lady, you're going to have to tell us everything. That book, the Eclipse Anthology, how did you come into possession of it? Why did you seek it? And how much do you know about Bill's cipher? Her tone left no room for games. Both Capella and Sears now had their eyes fixed on Monica. The room had grown impossibly still. Monica knew this was it. There was no dodging the truth. Whatever she said next had to be everything. Monica cleared her throat, took a deep breath, and launched into it with zero punctuation. Soul. Okay, I'll tell you everything. My name's Monica, right? And I come from this really, really small world called DDLC. Okay, and because... Okay, she's speaking way too fast for me to say. For me to... Yeah, I can't keep up with it. You guys are just gonna have to read this real fast. That's pretty much it, Monica's. Heavy silence filled the room. She stared at her like she had just delivered the transcript of a caffeine fever dream. Okay, why did they decide to make this kind of drawing? This is based off of, yeah, this is based off of. Okay. They had a little too much fun with the artwork. Capella blinked slowly. Huh? Capella rubbed the bridge of her nose and exhaled slowly. Monica, let's pull aside the whole summoning bill part for a second. You're telling me you crossed over from a tiny world into this one? You do realize how completely absurd that sounds, right? Sears remained silent for a moment, clearly deep in thought. Monica shook her head earnestly. Everything I say is true. My homeworld. It was just this tiny floating island surrounded by endless... That was all there was. My house sat right at the center, and there was nothing beyond it. I don't even know what this place is now. This is an entirely new world to me. Her voice trembled with sincerity. Sears finally spoke. My first reaction was that she was nuts, but now that I think about it, the GCF database mentioned cases of individual realities. What she's saying is entirely impossible. He turned to Capella, who tapped a finger on her desk. thinking. True, there are records of isolated pocket work, but so far this is all just words. We'll need to investigate further. As for the Bill Cipher incident, we can't afford to leave that unchecked either. I'll dispatch a squad to begin tracking his energy trail. We look back to Sirius. Until then, take her to holding. We'll assign her cell while we sort this out. Until we verify her story, she stays in detainment. Monika tensed instantly. No, please, I'm not some criminal. Don't lock me up. Her voice cracked with hurt and panic. Capel's expression remained cold and unwavering. Monika turned desperately to Sirius, hoping, begging for some form of support. For a moment, his expression lifted, showing something that looked suspicious, like hesitant. Capella, forget the holding cells. They're crawling with freaks and half-mad ex-convict. She doesn't belong there. Let me take her to the private detention wing. She'll be secure and out of trouble. Capella eyed him carefully, then gave a slow nod. Approved, but keep a close eye on her, Sirius. Sirius. I don't know what. Now go, don't waste my time. Sirius nodded and turned toward. Alright, follow me, Monika. I'll take you over. I'll bring you something to eat or settle. Do you have any allergies or food? He stopped moving. Monika hadn't moved. She stood frozen in place, her body trembling. Monika? Sirius stepped toward her. You okay? Is this nerves or my head? Monika's voice came out as a whimper. My head hurts so bad. Slowly, she clutched her temples, staggering. Whoa, hey. Sirius rushed forward, alarm flashing over. The pillow was already stepping close. What's happening? Girl, are you alright? I can't move. Then it happened. Monika's knees buckled and collapsed onto the ground, touching her head as glitch-like distortions rippled across her. Digital flickers and static tearing at the edges of her. Ah! My head, it's tearing apart. Her screams echoed through the chamber, agonizing in it. Sirius and Capella froze in shock, eyes wide. They turned to each other in horrified realization. Crossover syndrome? Monika's eyes snapped open. She was standing in a strange, unfamiliar place, a swirling void of shadow. Huh? Where am I? She whispered. She looked down. Her breath caught. She was wearing her old school uniform. What the? Why am I in this? I was just in the room, wasn't I? Before she could question further, she saw a figure. A human silhouette stood at a distance, indistinct, blurred by a radiance. She couldn't make out the details, but somehow her heart told her the truth before her mind caught it. It was him. Her player. Player! Monika cried out with sudden joy and ran. Every step the distance only grew. Why am I getting further away? The figure, however, simply just stood inside. Still, hope surged in her. Player, it's me, Monika. You're Monika. The figure moved. He turned aside, then turned back. Monika's heart nearly stopped. What? Player? Monika, I'm here. I'm right here. The figure did not turn back. He never. Oh, why won't you look at me? You told me you loved me. You told me you cared. And just like that, the figure turned slowly to ash, crumbling into dust and vanishing. No, please don't go, she yelled out. Don't leave me. No. Monika jolted awake. She sat upright, drenched in cold sweat, her chest heaving as she tried to catch her breath. Tears stained the corner of her eyes. It was just a dream. She whispered to herself, gripping the blanket tightly. She glanced around, trying to calm her nerves. The room was clean, futuristic. She lay on a soft bed, wrapped in a sterile white blanket. Her original outfit was gone. She was now dressed in a long white medical glove. When she glanced below, she noticed something. The dark star mark that used to be on her right wrist was gone, as if it was removed instantly. Before she could question further, she noticed something. Someone The soft beep of a medical device suggested this was a medical bay of some kind. She noticed someone. Serious. He was slouched dramatically in a nearby chair. Head tilted back, mouth slightly open in exhausted sleep. Looked as though he hadn't rested properly. Monika blinked. He's here? She scanned the table next to him. Notebook lay open, pen still stuck between the pages. Mug with remnants of coffee. Several empty milk cartons scattered around. The cover of the notebook read, Travel. Monika slowly slid off the bed, her bare feet touching the cold. A soft chime came from the small electronic band around her, some sort of medical monitor. She padded silently toward the desk. A stack of papers sat nearby, patient condition report. Monika picked up the top one. Each sheet listed hourly updates, vitals, neurological readings, internal system stability. And at the bottom of every single page, written in neat, almost obsessively handwriting, was the same name. Serious. Monika's hands trembled slightly. She realized now she had fainted, and during all the time she had been unconscious, Sears had been there, watching over her, recording every detail. Monika stared at the sleeping man, a strange swirl of feelings rising in her, complex, confusing, but not anger, not distress, something gentler. Her lips parted, a whisper, barely leaving. You don't seem like the type to... Her eyes drifted toward the travelogue. It was made of warm leather, old but high quality. Beside it sat a sleek steel pen, really expensive and well used. I bet that's his diary, Monika thought, narrowing her eyes, so she's going to go. Tell based on. Although guys never call it a diary, it's always logbook or mission journal or whatever manlier name. A grin tugged at her lip. Her curiosity began to tingle. I wonder what this blockhead would even write in it. Very slowly, she leaned forward, reaching out with practice stuff. Fingers brushed the edge of the Tears jolted awake with a start, nearly tipping his chair over. He flared briefly, then calmed himself with his eyes still clouded from Monika was lightning fast. She practically teleported back to bed and posed as if she had just woken up. Arms raced behind her, blinking. Tears blinked again, then noticed. Hey, whoa, you're awake? He rubbed his face, giving his head a quick shake, chased off the grogginess, and got up, waving over to the bed. Monika cleared her throat, pretending not to notice. Yeah, I'm awake. I was gonna ask, how long was I out? Just counted on his fingers, then raised her eyebrows. Almost a full week. You really clocked out. Monika blinked. A week? He hadn't realized it had been that long. I remember my head hurting, and then everything started spinning. After that, nothing. Sirius sighed. Experience what we call crossover syndrome. It happens to those who have crossed reality layers. So yeah, Monika, you're not lying. You really aren't from this. Monika stared at him. One thing to suspect she had left her world, but now she knew she had truly crossed into something else, something far bigger. She glanced down at her wrist, the sleek metal band glinting. Before she could ask, Sears spoke up. Don't worry, that's not a tracker or anything like that. It's a molecular stabilizer. Helps your body adapt to this reality later. You'll only need to wear it for a while. Monika nodded slowly. She didn't fully understand, but at least it didn't sound hostile. Then it hit her. Wait, crossover? Reality layers? She shot up right in bed, eyes wide. You mean this is an entirely different reality or universe? Like, actually? Pierce nodded, arms crossed. After you blacked out, we ran some diagnostics. Scanned your vitals, genetic profiles, residual energy. Your body's undergone what looks like an update, or maybe a conversion. You paused for a second. Put it simply, your biological data showed signs of origin from a specific universe. EDLC-0219. Monika's mouth dropped open. You got all that from leftover data in my body? Darius nodded. Got a massive database of known universes. Cross-reality travel's rare, but not unheard of. And we've seen trace signatures like yours before. I'm not an expert in this stuff, though. He shrugged. Our leader knows more. He built the scanners and the IR database. Monika blinked. IR? What's that? She just paused for a moment, realizing Monika genuinely didn't know what IR meant. He turned to her and began to explain. IR stands for individual reality. It refers to a reality that exists independently. A single node in a vast network of reality. He said, raising a hand to gesture through the air as if drawing away. Oh, we're going to get a little lesson from individual reality, IR, and there's all these lines drawn, various markers. Picture a massive lattice of strings, each knot is an IR. These worlds exist separately, yet they're all part of a larger system. Monica listened intently as Sirius continued, tone slipping into something halfway between teacher and soldier. Many of these eyes originate from stories, myths, games, things people of the Master Reality create. Yeah, that's right, Master Reality, the Master. Placed so far above us, hard to even. People there created everything. Every single IR began as an idea there. He smirked slightly, almost as if amused by the scale of it all. But to us, to the GCF, and to the records in our archive, those IRs are very much. Their people live real lives, fight real wars, make real choices. For example, one IR in our system is probably made of blocky terrain. Everyone lives on pixelated cubes. Oh, it's Minecraft. I haven't played Minecraft either. I've seen the Minecraft movie. I actually don't know anything. He taps his. That one's called, oh right, M something. Oh, Minecraft. Chuckled. Each IR can have millions of sub-branches. You see, every time someone in the Master Reality installs a game, say Minecraft, it creates a branch. Something like Minecraft 0-001 would be the very first game ever being ran. It becomes a unique, functioning. Estimate there are several million Minecraft branches. Monica's jaw opened slightly as she absorbed the sheer scale of it. She'd always known that games and movies were created by people in the Master Reality. In her own world, even herself had been born from the mind of someone named Salvato. She never thought of it like this, not in this way. You're saying every single thing someone creates in the Master Reality game story world, they all become independent universes? They're all called IRs, individual realities? Sirius nodded. Bingo, nailed it. Monica's brain was spinning. What all is here? There's GTA, there's Terraria. I haven't played Terraria or What is this? I'm not sure what this at the bottom is. There's a dragon at. It looks like some sort of fantasy. And yours, DDLC, right? That was originally a what? Film? Novel? It was a game. Monica replied quietly. My world started as a game. Sirius gave a slow nod. That makes sense. Your reality is designated DDLC-0219. That number means yours was the 219th branch ever activated. Probably the 219th copy of the game ran in the Master Reality. Monica blinked at that number. 219, huh? Wow, so I'm Monica 219. My player must have been one of the earliest people that installed DDL. Not sure if it's a good thing or not. It also means there must be millions of others now. Someone said Pokemon, and this almost does look like a Pokemon region. I thought so too, but it's not one that I'm familiar with. Unless it's something like Legends Arceus. Monica -1 million, bit of a mouthful. You can help but chuckle at the thought. Then Sirius adds something else, something unexpected. Strange thing is, according to our system, you're the first known instance of anyone from DDLC crossing over into this reality. No other Monicas out here, apparently. Monica's heart sank a little. Thought of all the other Monicas living on in silence on their little floating islands with someone. Made her chest tighten. She was the only one who'd made it out. I see, she whispered. I guess that makes me lucky. Sirius gave a small nod. There was a pause before Monica lifted her eyes again. What the Dan in chat says, it's actually a map of Equestria. Okay, I don't know about Equestria at all. I know Terraria, GTA, and Minecraft. Heard the same. I haven't heard of Equestria. Said this reality, from this way you speak, this place, it's not in IR, is it? Okay, so the mod team is saying it's from My Little Pony. Oh, that explains why I've never heard of it. And it's definitely not Master Reality either. So, what is it exactly? Sirius took a moment to consider Monica's question, then began explaining in a slower, more deliberate tone. The reality we're currently in is called this SR, Secondary Reality. It's a bit unique. Like the R, which exists as countless independent universes, SR is just one reality, one universe, and that's it. Monica tilted her head slightly, curiosity gleaming in her. Sirius went on. In fact, the name Secondary Reality refers to both the reality itself and the entire layer it resides in. This one universe is the whole layer. No parallel versions, no variants, just... Monica's rose as she tried to visualize. The SR is structured similarly to the Master, vast, filled with entire star system, planetary sectors, civilization. Remember that desert planet I found you on? That's just one of the countless planets, a few hundred parsecs from where we are now. You gesture vaguely toward the metallic wall, where we're standing now. This is Sector 1, the center of SR's galactic the GCF headquarters. Think of realities as layers, he said, stacking his hands to show a vertical concept. You could say SR exists between the IRs and the master reality, a kind of midpoint. Monika's eyes lit up as she began to grasp the scale of it. That explains why that travel took this real interest in travel. Exactly, Pierce confirmed with an SR may be a single reality, but it's a massive one. Here's the kick, he added with a slight smirk. Some people believe SR is actually just like the IRs. The only difference is no one knows who created this one. Monika's interest sharpened. So SR might have been created on purpose. That's the rumor. The legends all speak of a powerful relic that was the core to its sacred artifact of immense energy. But it's just a myth. So people. Monika opened her mouth to ask about the artifact before Pierce threw a curveball. By the way, I've been wondering, how do you even know about the master reality? Most people in lower realities don't even know there's something above them. They don't know the SR exists, let alone the MR. Monika was quiet for a moment. It's complicated. But let's just say in my world, I was made to be aware. I always knew something was off. I knew my world was. That wasn't the real reality. I was in. That's how I learned about the master reality. I even used to talk to. Her voice dropped slightly as she recalled the memory. The figure, the voice that once promised her affection, need to twist into something cold and cruel. At least now, I think I'm closer than I. She whispered to her. Pierce raised an eyebrow, fingering out. You seem very interested in the master, don't you? Monika gave him a small smile. Let's just say it's a long story, Captain. Pierce chuckled as he turned and tidied up. Without looking at her, he asked casually. So, Monika, how are you feeling now? Think you're steady enough to get out of bed? Monika flexed her arms and legs a little, nodding as she tested her. Yeah, I think I'm fine. Good, actually. Then she froze mid-movement. Her eyes started toward him. You're not planning to send me to the detention cell? Just glanced over his shoulder with an. Oh no, he said almost too calmly. Sending you to prison. Just doing my job. Monika's eyes wide wet, panic starting to rise. What? You can't be serious? Before she could finish, Sears burst out laughing. Relax, I'm messing with you. Not going there, and you won't be heading tensions. Monika exhaled in relief, thinking slightly against the side of the. This continued, his tone more official now, still gentle. Looked into your case thoroughly, given everything. Sure, you wouldn't have intent. He turned to face her. Your situation is extremely unusual. Not many people cross reality. Naturally, we'll need to observe you for a while. Hope you understand. Monika nodded since I do. I've already put in a request. Pierce went on, picking up a date. You've been assigned a personal room, right next to mine. You'll stay there for now, then we'll figure out the next step. He smiled faintly as he finished packing up his papers. Monika offered a small smile in return. About how chaotic everything had been somehow, things didn't feel so terrifying. There was a strange, quiet, calm silence. And she once thought was a feeling boot. Actually had moments. She stood up slowly, folding her arms and glancing down at her. There was a pause. I never really thanked you, he said softly, for getting me off that desert. He stopped what he was doing. He turned to her, slightly taken aback. His mouth is hanging half. His mouth half open like he wasn't used to you. Monika smiled gently. And well, if you were just a little more of a gentleman, girls might actually like you. Her voice filtered with teeth. Couldn't help but chuckle. Gee, thanks. Relationship advice from the interdimensional. I'll take that to heart, Dr. Mom. Monika gave a playful smile. Well then, Captain C. I look forward to work. Just paused at the door. Then after a brief silence. This is just a code name, actually, said his voice a little softer. Monika blinked and looked up. He met her gaze, something gentler in his eyes. It's Parker. Daniel Ryder Parker. Behave. Parker worked. With that he smiled, turned, and walked out. Monika remained where she was, eyes lingering on the door. Parker, the name felt strangely warm. Plain, yes, but familiar in a way she couldn't. She got a feeling not too many. Parker. Monika had found a place to rest. A fragile calm within the Yeah, even as she again. Something had begun. Hey, it's the Guardian guy. Or is that Eclipse? Oh wow. There's like, oh, this anime. I didn't expect that. Okay, so I think this is the ending, if I'm not wrong. There probably isn't any. Um, I said Beyond and Team Beyond shows. Anyway, this was a very fun mod. I initially wanted to. I'd seen the graphics online. And they look very, very nice. And what the Danny Levin is in chat right now.
Days go by, pages turning under endless skies. Every word I wrote was meant for you, hoping one day you would see them too. Stars are glowing through a faded glass, counting more
All right, I was quiet mainly that you guys could enjoy the song. A lot of the mod creators or the team involved in the mod here in chat. So now there are some extras we can look at. Gallery. Okay, this is Monika. Green. Her. This is her after she punched. They didn't do the chibi version. Her holding the. Going to cry. They're on that plant. Him getting arrested. But the Dan 11 our coder messed up. Messed up with what actually? We'll add her later. It looks like there's a character who wasn't in here which people were expecting. Okay, so that was all. Fan art. That's Sans from Undertale, right? The Daily Yori series. I've seen this on Reddit. What's you can social. Okay, this is guessing this. All right, everyone, that's it for now. I guess once more of it is released, then we'll go ahead and we'll play that. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for sticking by. Mod developers in the chat, I just want to let you know you did a phenomenal job. This is one of the best mods I've ever played. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for sticking so long for the live stream. That is all. And I'll see you guys later.